Good evening and welcome back to the episode of the Final Flight podcast. But it's not just any episode, folks, it's the Cheltenham Festival preview night. It's the big one. We're here, the lads are here. We've got myself, Rich and Joe. Obviously Joe actually turning up for the big one, no doubt about that. George is joining us as well. We are also going to be joined by Harry Swan. He's just running a little bit late, but lads, the big week is here. I've muted Joe, he's muted all night, but Rich, you ready for it, mate? Come on, the big one. What are we saying? You look forward to it?
Do you know how bad you sound?
Hey?
You're very crackly.
Will you talk amongst yourselves and I'll sort my mic out?
Yeah, so we've probably all seen the previews all week, the guests, the long shows, you know, the insights from different yards and everything like that. We've got our own two on. Tonight, we've got George and Harry trying to delve in with us and help us along the way. Rich, what you thinking? What your thoughts? I think you're off to the pub, aren't you, on Thursday with James? Are you excited? The sort of biggest podcast of the year, isn't it? We all look forward to the Cheltenham previews.
I mean, as soon as Cheltenham finishes, Twitter just kind of goes silent, doesn't it, for another 6 months? So, like you say, it is the time of the national hunt period where everybody just gets excited. It's 4 days of top quality racing. It's what everybody's been gearing their seasons around, and hopefully get some winners. Yeah,
100%. And obviously, George, there, you've sort of followed us. You've probably made more appearances this season than me on this podcast. We're all excited to hear your handicap picks. I'm sure they'll be in detail. I've got his cheat sheet, and I can say it did not disappoint. Last year was good enough, and this year looks like a step up. George,
Joe's just going to copy your cheat sheet, George, for the full.
I texted him. I said in the Supreme, I'd literally. I mean, it's not a sort of selection, but George, I know you've done a lot of work into your cheat sheet, and Cheltenham's your speciality. I know last year we sort of hit it off from the Supreme and followed that standard the rest of the day. How are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, like last year was fantastic. Like get Slade Steel in the book straight away, and I think we had Firefox each way at, I think it might have even been 9-1 a few days before. So we had a good old 1-2 in the first. I didn't back the forecast, unfortunately. Oh no, sorry, he was third, wasn't he? He was third. But the first and the third out of the way in the first race was great. while James sorting his audio, might as well get the plug in there. Like,
does this sound better? A
little bit. No, I thought it was a little bit. But anyway, might as well get the plug in now. The cheat sheets obviously is available to buy on Twitter. We've sold over 50 so far, which is amazing. You know, it's really good to have the support of everyone. Obviously, I gave it away for free last year, and if you put I basically try and provide a win and each way bet in each race, or in the handicaps it'd be 2 each ways probably. And last year, if you backed all of them, which you're not supposed to do, at the prices advised, you'd have made just shy of £25 to every pound you put on across the festival. So obviously, if you're a bit more selective, picking one or one in each race, there's potential to make far more. I've done a little update on it today, so anyone that's already bought one that wants the updated one, just shoot me a message on Twitter, because I've adjusted it for the confirmations today. I'll be doing a final update on Saturday when we have all the confirmations in. So maybe you just want to wait for that one. But if you've already bought one, of course, the update will be free. Anyone who hasn't bought one, just DM me on Twitter at George F. Gorman. And it's £5 for every single race in the festival. It's great value. I've got the tips for each race, what the best value bet is, selections, up-to-date prices, the rationale for why I've picked each one, and then at the end, betting advice as to whether it's better value to back them now or whether they're going to be shorter or longer on the day. Each way terms on the day, which horse are likely to get in and not. It's as in-depth as you'll find, certainly for the price. So, if anyone's interested in that, just DM me on Twitter.
Brilliant. Yeah, I know I've bought it and I'll be looking forward to the updated one. James, is the mic there?
Does it sound any better?
No. Stick your earphones in.
Well, I just took everything out, so I'm not worried about what else to go with, so I'll have to do.
It'll work.
You can't hear me up.
No, it's really crackly, James.
You take it piss, because if you take it piss, I'm going to fucking live it.
No, we're not.
Have you tried the old unplug it and plug it back in method?
Right, listen, just talk with yourself 2 minutes. I'm back in a minute.
Yeah.
Of all nights.
Right. I know, of all nights, yeah. So, to be fair, it's probably not going to work out too bad because we've got Harry Swan. We're waiting from him. He's been to Thurles today. So, yeah, before we start on this, have you watched any previews this week? And has any statements or anything like that raised your eyes? I mean, I know we'll delve into the mares and the mares hurdle with Lossy Mouth and everything like that and whatever. But George, have you seen any, where you think you weren't too sure on a race and you've sort of eyed it on? I know Racing Lead done a podcast the other night and he had Matt who rides Constitution Hill and someone from the Skeleton Yards, and there was a few things
Nick Pearce.
Nick Pearce, yeah, and a few things said on there was sort of like raised my eyebrow at and stuff. Was there anything you've picked up this week, change your mind, done a last minute sort of diverge on one?
No, I haven't got around to listening to it's the Only Fools Love Horses one, isn't it? I haven't got around to listening to that one yet. I'm sure it'll be entertaining. I know Nick Pearce from Pointing days. I could tell you some stories about him that aren't probably appropriate for this medium, but he's some man. He's a proper horseman. He actually had Simon Sig when he was pointing. Like he was. I actually rode against Simon Sig in a racecourse gallop around a point-to-point track in East Sussex or Kent, I think, called Godstone, like in the back end of nowhere. And he went from there to obviously Cheltenham Festival glory. Like he's a hell of a trainer, Nick. The only one that did stand out a little to me was Rachel Blackmore said on the Betfair one earlier, her charity pet for the festival is Bob Ullinger each way in the stairs hurdle.
Wow.
Which, bear in mind, she did tip up Captain Guinness last year and it did come off.
He is unbeaten at Cheltenham, though, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And like it'd be the first time he's run on half decent ground this year. It's not without. It's not entirely without merit as a tip. I thought that was interesting. Probably it's of the ones I've heard so far. It's like I've been so busy. I've sort of gone to sleep watching them and then not know where I finished and then go back and try and watch it from where I fell asleep on a lot of them. But as well as obviously the beginning of Daredevil Born Again this week on Disney Plus, far more importantly. But
nice.
Yeah, I haven't got around to loads of it, but that stuck out to me.
Perfect. Sorry to interrupt. James?
Does this sound any better?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. Thankfully, I was shaking, thinking, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to turn into some sort of."
Oh my god! I was close to just buggering off. Then
inaudible, but it was highly distracting. I would say.
I don't understand what was going on there, but can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we know.
Right. Listen, lad. Let's get cracked on. We've also got a long night to get ahead. We've got loads of races to get through. We're going to go through the main races of each day. We'll do the handicap selections at the end of each day. We've got some free bets to give away. I've got some tickets for some racing to give away later on as well, and then we'll just crack on and see what's going on. Anyone in the comments wants to throw it up, don't feel afraid to do so. Just get it stuck in, and we'll try and get through everything as we can. Right, the first one, we're going to get straight into it, lads. The Supreme Novices Hurdle. Cop at the boards is a short odds on favourite. You've got Romeo Slowlio, Salvatore Monday, Workhead, William Money, Iran C. I'm going to come to you first, Rich. Cop at the boards absolutely bolts up here, doesn't he?
Yes, I think he does. I mean, time form, give him a rating of 154 for his DRF win. The last horse to go to the Supreme with that sort of rating was Altior in 2016. He was 155 and he turned out to be pretty decent in the end. So, yeah, I mean, there's question marks about will he boil over in the parade ring. I wouldn't be too bothered about that. I mean, he just seems to get better with each race. I mean, this will be his third one of the season. I think we could see quite a decent performance. I mean, the DRF that he won has got a decent record of producing winners. I mean, you've got like Sam Crow, Classical Dream, Appreciate, it's a Gerhard, Ballyburn have all won at the Cheltenham Festival after winning in that race. So I think he's going to follow suit. I think out of the 4 days, he's the one that potentially could blow us away with the performance. If you want sort of an each way sort of value, I still quite like Salvatore Monday to run a race each way. I think he's about 7-1 when I look this afternoon.
7-1, yeah, best price, yep.
Yeah, I think he could run into a place personally. I saw something on Twitter saying that he is working quite well at home, so I expect him to come on for the seasonal debut. I mean, he won the Moscow Flyer by 3 lengths. I thought it was quite impressive because they left him after the bend. So yeah, all in all, Kopek to bet just wins, doesn't he?
Kopek to bet, yeah, I like that. George, I'll come to you, mate. Obviously, you know, there's been talk of him balling over. I don't think that'll be too bad on him. I think what will they have earplugs in? They'll have a hood, all sorts on him. What are they? As he goes down to the start, I think what he did at the DRF probably the best we've seen, and form wise. Do you think there's out to beat him?
Well, I think I said on here when did I do the DRF preview? I said this is when Hello Neighbour had the hood fitted. I said, to be honest, if there's any horse at DRF I'd put a hood on, it's this lad. So I'll be interested to see if that does happen. I think it'd be very, very long odds on he'll have one of the red ones on at least in the paddock.
I meant you know, one of them that they wear down and then they take it off before the start, don't they?
Yeah, but I'd run him in one. But then maybe they worry with how his jumping was first time out that it like dull him a bit. Like actually, maybe they want him on it a bit so that his jumping stays the way it is rather than going back to how it was.
It's not that sort of show, Joe, mate. Go on, George.
But the all this talk about his temperament, how he'll handle the atmosphere at Cheltenham, like the DRF's not exactly a library. Like it's the same weekend as the Six Nations. There's a lot of like students there tanked up. I'd say I've not been, but I'd say it's pretty damn noisy there. I wouldn't be so worried about that. I think the most important thing to bear in mind is he's got an RPR of 160. He's achieved the highest racing post rating of any horse in this field. And what's frightening is that he's had 3 career starts. Romeo Coolio's had 6. Salvatore Mundy's had 4. I think, was it William Money's had at least 5, isn't he?
Yep.
He might be open to the most improvement of any of these, which is a frightening thought. But I think he just wins. I wouldn't back him now. Back him on the day because the bookmakers will go out to get him. Mm-hmm. They'll make him at least evens because they know that even if you win, they just want your custom in the first race. They go, if you bet with us in the first race, you'll bet with us in the second, third, and the fourth. We'll eventually get it back. Is the way they think. I think workhead still value each way. Is you can still get 8-1. I think.
You can actually get 11-1. You can get 11-1 work ahead. I'll just drop Harry in. Harry, mate, good evening.
Hi, lads. How are you?
Good, mate. Thanks for joining us tonight, mate. We're just going through we just started the Supreme, so I had some technical difficulties, so you're not missed out.
No bother. Sorry, I'm late there.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good, man. Go on, carry on, George.
I said the 11-1s with William Hill, Bet365 will give you 10-1, but they won't let you have anything on. The most widely available price is 8-1. Like trying to be as diplomatic about it as we can. Look, he made his hurdles debut he won his maiden hurdle on the same card as Kopek des Boards. Recorded a time very slightly quicker while carrying £5 more. Obviously, it's important. Kopek des Boards did everything wrong that day, whilst Workhead did everything right. So it's the time's not really comparable. But Workhead's entitled to step forward from that. He beat some good horses. William Money, who was subsequently second to Cowabunga and then won novice hurdle. He beat subsequent novice chase winner Sprint de la Mer and Redemption Day, who was a good bumper horse. Crucial to his chance, though, is Henry's stable form. Like, there's always a post-Christmas drop in the form of the stable, and then they just come back into form for Cheltenham. This year, he had 16 winners in November. He was operating at a strike rate of 31%. 10 in December, strike rate 10%. 2 in January, strike rate 4%. And about 13%, I think, is that so far for February. Work Ahead won his maiden hurdle by 7 lengths from William Money on Boxing Day. right in the middle of the bad patch. He could improve a lot. He could improve a hell of a lot. And like, I just think he's probably value each way. Like, if something happened to Kopek de Boer, God forbid, he could win, but he should be in the first three. One that's appealing to me a bit more as we get closer is Tripoli Flyer. It's a place only bet. Wide margin winner on three hurdle starts, including the Dove Cut. He was second in a Grade 2 bumper, so that's not exactly a fluke. He is that level. His RPR of 153 is only topped by 3 rivals and matched by 1. They make up the first 4 in the betting, and he's 16-1. So I'd say he's a place only bet on the day. I'd like, if you can get 5-2 plus, get as many places as you can. But I wouldn't. He's not an each way bet. But yeah, I think Kopek de Boer is obviously the winner here. You'll get even money on the day for your boots.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Go on then. I'll drop to you, Harry, before I come to you, Joe. Obviously, Kopek de Boer. Tell me how far he wins. Do you think Romeo Coolio's going to get anywhere near him? What do you think, mate? Come on, straight into it.
No, I don't think so. I think Kopek de Boer, he was very, very good the last day. It was a serious performance. His jumping would have to improve a little bit, I think. I think, with Paul on board, he was a lot better. I think he's going to be very hard to beat. Romeo Coolio is in great form and probably a little bit overlooked price-wise. Maybe about 4 weeks ago, he'd probably be half the price he is now. But the performance Kopek de Boer's made was very, very good. I think he's going to be hard to beat. I think if I was backing one each way, I think William Money is probably good value. He obviously a very good run. His bumper form is very good. He had a good run in the Punchestown Grade 1 bumper, and he's a horse that they're probably still trying to figure out. His maiden hurdle runs, he was way too keen, and I think they switched up his bit and put a cross noseband on him. I think they've finally got the key to him now, and I think he could definitely run into a place. But Kopek de Boer's, I think I'll go for. I just think his performance last, it was very, very good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And like you said, like George said, I think they'll definitely push him out on the day. Joe, then last one, mate. Kopek de Boer's. Obviously, William Money probably will run into a place if he settled a lot better last time. But yeah, Kopek de Boer's. Come on, mate. Tell me how much you're going to put on.
Yeah,
bit responsibly.
I've heard a few comments this week. One was the other night with Rishi. He said we spoke to Willie, and when Willie talks about a horse like he talks about this one, you just stand and listen. He had Paul on the last day and seemed to settle better. And Willie did make a point. He said, you do get horses who just sweat up. You'd probably think there was a problem if he wasn't there. That's how they know he's at the races. Some horses, love it. Some don't. Some sweat. Some wouldn't turn a hair. It's just the way it is. Like George said, I don't think DRF would have been a quiet library festival. Do you? I think it'll have been pretty, everything will have been going on and it'll have been highly anticipated. So I can't see that being a massive problem. Each way bet, same as George, would be work ahead. Rich, I'm surprised you haven't picked up on this one, or slightly. When he won his maiden hurdle, it was the race before Hello Neighbour. And that was a Grade 2. And that race was 2 seconds quicker. And it wasn't really a jog either with Hello Neighbour. He was sort of pushed there by Lady Vega Allen. That was a good race. I think Workhead did improve. I think he is a decent price at the current price at the minute, 10-1. But in terms of Kopek de Boer's, if he replicates his DRF run, I think he goes and wins, doesn't he? I think it's like you said, James, earlier. Whether he reaches them heights, I'm not sure, but I think this is the type of, I wouldn't say generational horse yet. We haven't seen that from him, but the way they're talking and the way he's improving and he's still beating them, the mannerisms that he's shown in his races, he's got some hell of an engine and he's some hell of a horse.
Do you want a trend, James?
Go on then, Rich. Throws one out, mate, before I move on.
So, 4 of the last 12 winners were favourite or joint favourite, and 11 of the last 12 were top 3 in the betting. So, there you go.
There you go. That'll do us. I know there's that starting that Emery something like winners over over 70 days running is really a really bad record, isn't it? But obviously for Henry, it kind of flips on its head because he's quite good at giving him a break. But yeah, for me, cop it the boards, wins, and that'll do me. Right, we're moving on, guys, to the Arkle. It's Marsborough at the top of the market. Obviously, no Sergino here. Hopefully, gets well soon. Leo Dessau, Django Bay is going to come here now. Only by Night's probably going to go Mares now. Touch Me Not. I'll come round the other way. Joe, is it just Marsborough to lose?
Yeah, mate. I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot to say on this apart from as soon as he won the Triumph last year, I had him down as this big chasing type, and he was going to go at the Browns, and I backed him pretty decently at 16-1, and thought, they'll step him up. As soon as Ballyburn sort of solidified that route, that was game over. But yeah, it is disappointing. It would have been great to see the clash with Sergino and Marsborough. I know people crab Marsborough's jumping and whatever. He's had 2 chase starts. What do they expect? He is a class horse, and I think he'll show that here. He's only a 5-year-old. It was sort of the same in Factor File. They took him chasing early. Do you remember he got beat at Navan? And they just sort of was so easy on him at the start. And it's sort of a boost in itself. He's here at 5-year-old. He's some animal, and I think he's going to take all the beat. I can't see anything from our side or even the Irish. I think the one disappointing thing I think we've seen is in these first 2 races, the lack of English runners is pretty poor. But there we go. That's a different matter. I'm not going to waste any more time. Marsborough for me wins.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll come to you, Harry. Obviously, like Joe said there, lack of English talent. Although we've got Louis Sudden here, Django Bay. Do any of them get anywhere near Marsborough? But Touch Me Not maybe for Elliott team?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's probably a race to watch, maybe not to bet on. I think Touch Me Not was he's had some good runs this season, but I don't think he's at this level. I don't think he'll have a chance against Marsborough, to be honest. I love this horse Marsborough since the start. Really, even when he was beating his maiden hurdle first time out in Ireland, I thought he was a bit clean that day, and he was impressive enough to have finished out his race. I thought he was class in the Triumph, and then he's just progressed into a really, really nice horse. I'd probably if I was any of you, I wouldn't have a bet in the race. Probably just one to watch.
Yeah, I think if you're not back to already, maybe the double with Coppet, maybe. George, go on then. Marsborough, win or against?
I think I've got to say first, Joe, next time you think about backing a 5-year-old anti-post for the Brown Advisory, please speak to me.
It wasn't a million miles off, George.
That'd be the end of the poor bastard's career. 3 mile around Cheltenham.
George, are we going to go? Let's not go through all of Joe's anti-post picks because it's not.
I just looked it up quickly, just to give you an idea. The last time 5-year-old won the Broadway Chase was 75 years ago.
Hey, these are here to be broken.
But Joe's new to the jumps, isn't he? He's a flat lad, isn't he? These amateurs,
All right. But yeah, look, it's sort of almost similar. I said before on here, I think Mark Walsh did a great job on him the last day, where they were never going to give him a lead round the last day, and he did a good job of putting him deep into a few fences, teaching him to fiddle and that. Because otherwise, if he had done what he did the first day, he'd have got to Cheltenham having never had to fiddle a fence on a racecourse and never having to make a mistake. And I think Mark was just teaching him on the way around. So basically putting his jumping under pressure on purpose so that he could learn it for today. I think he sets a standard here, and similar to Kopek Day Board, he's probably the most inexperienced horse here, let alone inexperienced chaser. He's got 5 career starts, 2 over fences to his name, and he's got the highest level of form, which to me says he's got the highest level of form and he's open to the biggest amount of improvement. My each way play in this race has sort of gone a bit now. There are 2 places, but if you've got a bookmaker who's willing to give you 3 places still anti-post, I'm not sure one exists. But if anyone put a special offer on Touch Me Not, still outstanding value. He should have finished in front of Loda Sud at Sandown, bar falling and getting back up again. I think he'll finish in front of him here. He's a proper horse, and it speaks volumes if they bring him here rather than the handicap, how good they think he is. But yeah, like I said, two places it doesn't interest me so much. But yeah, Masborough's one for the multiples, isn't he? I couldn't back him. I couldn't back anything in a 2 mile chase, a 2 mile Grade 1 chase at Cheltenham at this sort of odds on, because one mistake and you're done. It's why the biggest, like the boil over every year is the champion chase. The margins are so thin, and I think they're even thinner when you're talking novices. So I would, if you want to stick him in like multiples, I would, but I wouldn't back him straight at 8 to 15 anyway.
No, fair points then. Rich, are you on or are you against what you're saying? Agree with the lads?
I just can't see what beats him. What? I mean, to win the Triumph off his second or third run over hurdles? Some
Second.
feat. I mean, favourites have a pretty decent record in this, and yeah, like I say, he's one of the multiples, probably sticking in with Kopeck and a couple of others on day one, and hopefully count your money.
That's fair enough. Like I say, it'll be a decent spectacle. Hopefully, Masborough gets round and wins, and if he's in a lot of muggies, then that'll be the case. Right, we're going to move on now to an interesting race, one I've been looking forward to, actually. We've got the favourite here, Bottlemouth, for Rich Ritchie. Switch Ritchie. Jade the Gruge is in here. Golden Ace. Joyous been supplemented for it. July Flower. Rich, she's bottled it.
Oh, Lassie.
She's absolutely bottled the champion hurdle. Richie, what are you doing? You must be gutted that he's finally realised she's not going to beat the hill. What have you got to say for yourself? Come on, speak up. Why have you gone quiet?
No,
not
he's
set
been
in stone,
quiet
is it?
on hill all season.
Have I muted you?
It's not set in stone.
Come on. She's 4 to 6 on for the mares.
The way I read the comments
because
is,
everyone's non-runner, no bet now, so they have to price her up as if she is going to run.
Yeah, are you steaming in, Rich?
Thank you,
You're steaming in
Thank you.
now that she's been, see you later. Adios. Come on.
Pretty short on the exchanges as well.
no, Nick,
Been waiting all week for this.
The way I see it is, Ritchie obviously wants to go down the mares. Willie Mullins obviously wants to go champion hurdle still, is how I still read this. I mean, it was a pretty bad fall she had at the DRF. I would still run her in the champion hurdle personally. I think she will run fairly well. I mean, if she diverts the mares,
She'll only run fairly well. I thought she was gonna win the week.
if she's not fallen, yes. But anyway, I'm not biting. If she does run in the mares, I think she wins. I mean, she's rated 160. You've got J.D. Grugy 149. Joyce, is it how you say it? 138.
151.
Sorry?
Jade.
No, it's 151. Still £9 to find. I mean, she won it last year. If she does run in the mares, my only concern would be that Willie's been trying to change her style to fit 2 mile races, and now you're asking her to settle again for 2 mile 4. Would be my only real concern if you just go down the mares. Like I say, I would just stick with the champion hurdle plan and just see how it goes. The 2-year plan, you can't just throw it in the bin, can you?
2 years down the drain.
I'm
Anyway,
sure I've got a random post
if
of 7
she
to 2.
doesn't run in this, I quite like Golden Ace each way. So there you go.
Right. Well, fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, I can only just hear through your tears. But George, Lossiemouth, obviously now looking like she's coming here. She's not going to champion hurdle. They've used the fall a little bit of a weird excuse for changing. Even welfare's been mentioned, which I think is a bit odd. She's either good enough, she's either ready to run or she's not. Do you know what I mean? I don't. If you're going to switch, just say you're going to switch. But what do you make of it all?
Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. I don't like welfare being mentioned when it comes to which race they run in or ground or anything like that. I think trainers have to be a bit more responsible than start talking about welfare. Because essentially you're going, say, if you're saying, hey, we got to run her in the mares hurdle rather than champion hurdle because of her welfare, if anything happens to her, then it looks like you've done something dodgy-ish. And then same... Nicky Henderson did it a few years ago about saying not running Altior at Sandown because of the ground and it was a welfare issue. You're essentially then saying that every other trainer in that race is putting the welfare.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I don't like welfare being banded about. But the way I'm playing is now, I've been a fan of Jade DeGrugy for this for a long time. At her current price, I'd probably, if I wasn't already involved, I would wait to see that Lossiemouth definitely wasn't running, because just simply she'd have to improve. But I think she probably could do it, but I want more than 5-2 if she's taking on Lossiemouth. I want 3 or 4-1, to be honest. But I think she was the best horse in the Dawn Run last year. I really do. Like on the day, like obviously what Brighter Days Ahead's gone on to do since is levels above that. But I think on the day she was the best horse. Jack Henley went to fair extremes to make sure that Paul Townend stayed boxed in on her, and obviously he ended up paying the price himself for that. But she switched in, then she had to switch back out again. She made up a lot of ground, more than Brighter Days Ahead did, before just getting tired close home. She bounced back with a comfortable Grade 1 victory at Fairy House over, wasn't it, Spindlebury, with Jatara 5 lengths back and third. Jatara then went on to finish 3 1/4 lengths second to Ballyburn, the Grade 1 novice hurdle. Punchestown is now rated 145. If you look at her comeback in the Cavega, like that was another win at this trip again, which is another tick in the box. I wasn't sure. She's got plenty of speed. I wasn't sure when I first backed her for this year whether she had 100% won this trip. She gave £9 and up to the entire field. And if you watch her turning in, she's clearly having a blow as she turns in. Like she hasn't blown up, but she's definitely gone for her girths turning in, and she's gone away from them, giving away weight to everything. Like it was really impressive to me. And I was pleased to hear Emmett spoke to Willie Mullins before the race, and he said like she hasn't got a chance in hell. She's nowhere near fit enough. And the fact she went and won, and as long as this doesn't come too quick, if she can come on a bit for the run, maybe she can get to Lossiemouth's level. But I want a slightly bigger price. If Lossiemouth doesn't run, I'll back her at any price. And then obviously with that, my each way alternative will be Jatara. I just think it's way too big. Like she's got former top horses. She's got a Grade 1 3-length third to Dancing City, a Grade 1 5-length third to Jade de Grugy, Grade 1 3 1/4 length second to Ballyburn. Her 2 wins this term come at around 3 miles, but she also won a Curragh Maiden over a mile 4 in November, which surely proves she doesn't need 3 miles if she's winning a mile 4 maiden. And her last time out win over 3 mile and half furlong was the first time she wore cheek pieces. So maybe it's the headgear that's had more to do with the upturn in form than the step up in trip. I just think, given she's got the 4th highest RPR in the race, 20-1 is massive. Like, would she beat Lossiemouth if Lossiemouth turned up? No. But certainly, she has an each way chance whether Lossiemouth shows up or not. I think 20-1 is huge. But yeah, that'd be my view on the race.
I love that. Go on then, Harry. I mean, obviously, we thought Lossiemouth were going to the Champion Hurdle. The whole talk was always, well, she was in the Champion Hurdle. Brighter Days Ahead. Will she? Won't she? Will she? Won't she? She's now going. Now Lossiemouth looks like she's backing out. Does she just turn up and win the mares now then, or would you still go against her maybe?
Yeah, I think she does. Like, it'll be interesting to see how she comes back from the fall. Like, it was a heavy fall she got the last day. Obviously, Willie will have done plenty of schooling with her and have her back, but like, it does take a lot of, especially a mare, like, to get a heavy fall like that. Like, it will take a lot out of her. Like, and it was a stupid fall. It looked very, I don't know what she done. I don't know. Willie said that she was looking at seagulls or something, but I don't know. Like, she can't take her eye off the ball in the mares anyway. If she wants to win it, look, she's probably the classiest. She obviously is the classiest horse in the race. But I don't know. I wouldn't be backing her at 4 to 6. I don't think anyway. But I agree with George about Jatara. I think she's a great price at 20-1. Like, she's a mare with loads of experience. You know, like, she's done it all. Like, she's been everywhere. She's been to over to England. She was very good the last day in Doncaster. I think her price 20-1 is very good value. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll come to you, Joe. I mean, obviously Lossiemouth, bad fall. You know, brave to probably steaming at the price she is now. I know you backed her a bit of a bigger price, even though we thought that was a dead anti-post bet. Now looks like it's back on. Do you think she's going to win?
Yeah, well, I've got this race covered, really. I've got Jade de Grugy at a bigger price, and I've got Lossiemouth at a bigger price. So I'm sitting pretty sweet. But yes, so I'm just going to reiterate slightly what the lads have said in terms of Lossiemouth, and I think it was mainly Patrick. I've seen a few comments from Patrick mentioning about the fall And you know, she's had 2 goes to beat the boys now. And I think Willie's comment about the Seagulls or whatever it was, you know, when you look at the head on and you look at all angles, there was no excuse for that fall. It was more of a, I would say, in my opinion, a tired fall. You look at slight mistakes that's happened. For example, Con Hill at the last Nico said if he didn't have much horse under him, the horse would have gone down. There was no sort of excuse. There was nothing in there. And are they worrying about that now? Probably yes. Are we looking at probably arguably one of the best champion hurdles renewals we've seen in a long time? Yes. Lossiemouth, I think as well. If Stateman is outperforming her at home, then they'll be looking at what chance has she got? Is it unfair to run her? You know, she's only 6. She's got probably a decent career ahead of her. You know, we don't really want to do anything daft now. And I don't agree with the welfare comment, but that's probably where that comes in terms of a 6-year-old mare. Do we run it in that top level now? No, nothing to do with welfare. We just don't want to sort of bottom the horse out and risk her at that level. I really do like Jade de Grugy. I thought a comeback run was very, very impressive. It's just similar to what George said. I heard Willie on a podcast mention he was, I wouldn't say frightened, but he was sort of worrying for the worst in terms of a condition and what she was carrying coming into that race at Punchestown. I think they meant to start her earlier on in the season, but she had a knock. But the step up win trip looks perfect. She won 2 mile 4 heavy at the end of last season against Spindleberry, who is a pretty short price in. Is it this race? In the Mares Chase. Mares Chase, yeah, she's a pretty short price in there. Form looks to stack up. She won't go in away as well. She'll definitely stay the trip. She's got speed. I did like Golden Ace at the prices when I first started my notes. She was about 8-1. She's now into 5s. I think the whole picture of the race changes if Lossiemouth goes or doesn't. It's pretty hard to sit here and discuss and say, I like Jade de Grugy, which I did, and I've got in my notes, but that was she's 2-1 now in places, and she's running against Lossiemouth. Like George said, you're not going to take that. If you take that now and Lossiemouth doesn't run, you're probably going to look a bit of, not a genius, but she's going to definitely go off shorter and go for the favourites chance. However, if Lossiemouth runs, everyone's going to be pushed out, aren't they? So in my opinion, you've probably got, if you're not in the picture now, you've probably just got to wait and see what does run. Jatara's in there at decent prices. You know, you've had little sniffs of Carla Conti at a bigger price, but in my opinion, I won't be touching this till Lossiemouth, Willie Mullins and Rich Ritchie decide where they're going and what they're doing.
Out of interest, Joe, what price did you get Jade de Grugy for this?
I can tell you not as big as you. I got 4-1 and I took a bit of 7-2 in like a double with Ballyburn.
I took 20s about 360 days ago.
And it looks so good for so long. I think she'll still beat Lossiemouth. Sod it. Get out, get in bin Lossiemouth. She's going to win.
And surely they've got to play over the PA system something by a flock of seagulls.
Yeah.
Sure.
Got to do, haven't they? Oh, it's going to be a good race. Well, whatever happens, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's the mares. Moving on to the big one then. The champion hurdle. Constitution Hill. Brighter days ahead. Is there any point mentioning any of this? I'll come to you, Harry, mate, if I can, because when you come on our podcast the first time, you actually sort of was saying, look, you reckon they'll go champion. Quite a few people actually disagreed on Twitter. We put it up on Twitter, and a lot of people were saying, nah, exchanges are saying she's going to the mares, blah, 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 blah. She's in the champion hurdle. Can she beat the Hill?
I hope so. She's got to have a massive chance of beating him. It's going to be a really interesting and tactical race to watch. Obviously, King of Kingsfield is going to go out and make the running. And Gordon said before, she doesn't even need to sit right behind him. Once there's a good gallop on, Jack can probably sit second or third or fourth, wherever he's comfortable. But I love the way her run the last day was unbelievable to watch. The gallop that went was exceptional, and look, he's obviously he's Constitution Hill will obviously he'll go off favourite, like, you know, and he is going to be the horse to beat. But I can see this being turned around, to be honest. The only worry I'd have for the mare is her jumping. She's a little bit low and it can be a little bit careless at times. Hopefully she's improved. She's obviously mare on and up, and she's improving the whole time. I still don't think they've got to the bottom of her yet. But I'd love to see her jumping just improve a little bit, maybe just if she's a bit more careful at hurdles, because she can get low. I think if they go a really good gallop coming down the hill, I think we'll know who's going to win. I think she's a right chance. I'm not going to say she's going to win, but I think she's a very, very good chance. Yeah.
Harry, do you think with the pace? Well, I'm not going to say pacemaker, but with King of Kingsfield in there, does that sharpen her mind with her jumping? Is a lot of her jumping problems when she's having to make her own running and she's thinking about it too much coming in?
Yeah, definitely. Even like her running down Royal at the start of the year, like I actually was watching her, and she was like going down to a hurdle. She was looking at your man.
Her mind comes off the hurdle, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, completely. Like I think that's just because she's so laid back and she's so relaxed. Like, you know, I think
she's so far within herself.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think the gallop. Yeah, the gallop is definitely suited. Sure, we've seen that. Obviously the last day, like, sure, the gallop completely changes her way of going. Like, you know, she's more sharper, and like even at the last, I know I was talking about how her jumping needs to improve, but if there was no pacemaker and she wasn't going that fast down to the last in Leopardstown the last day, I think she would have made a bad mistake. But she was actually kind of half clever that way, you know, and she got herself out of trouble. But I definitely King of Kingsfield going to be a big player in this race, you know. And hopefully
he'd take her to 4 out. So he'd take her to 4 out. I don't think he'd get any further than that.
Yeah,
that's the only top of the hill. He'll be cooked.
Yeah, that's the only worry. Like, you're hoping that King of Kingsfield will get further. Like, he'll get her a bit further. The further he can get her, the better chance she has. You know what I mean?
But look, if Constitution Hill can't take her to 3 out, then your problems are solved anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as she stays upright.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think Burdett Road's going to be in here as well. He might be up there as well. Do you think?
True.
Yeah.
So there could be something. There could be something to get them all to sort of 2 out, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it's which one's got the kick.
Yeah.
I thought they ruled it out after he didn't bomb out last time, but he finished like 3rd, didn't he?
I'm sure they said the other day that he's going back in.
Sam Twiston-Davies had had an interview today, and he mentioned that he was in at James Owens, and he said he was brilliant. And after the mares sort of turned up and they quite liked the picture of the race, they thought they'd go for it, especially with the ground.
Yeah, I think he's going now.
If he's making the running, but he's not having to go flat out on his own, if he can take the lead off King of Kingsfield, he might be able to sneak 3rd. Like he's not having to bottom himself to stay in front of Brighter Days Ahead. He's getting a lead off the lead horse as well. So like it's a bit like the whole if Solness gets taken on by LA Francais thing. If they take each other on, then both of them are a doubtful place chance. If Burdett Road can just take a lead off King of Kingsfield, he might be able to just do a bit of nicking, still 3rd in the champion hurdle.
I'm just going to flick this comment up here by Jeffrey's put. In one word, no Conhill. What is it? In one word, no Conhill wins champion hurdle. Is that wrong? Jeffrey? Have I read that wrong?
I'm guessing he's saying no to Brighter Days Ahead. Conhill wins.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Conhill wins the champion. Sorry, I can't read. I'm from Yorkshire. Go on then, George. Constitution Hill's going to win, isn't he? Surely, yeah. Put the man in the place. Come on, put the man in the place. He'll be stalking it all the way.
I'm not a very trusting person. I don't take anything on trust here, and the only reasonable bet you can make is Brighter Days Ahead. Like she's technically the horse to beat on recent form. She performed to an RPR of 165 in Neville's Hurdle Hotel. Constitution Hill might have put up unbelievable figures in the past, but last time he performed to an RPR of 165 or over was when he won the Aintree Hurdle nearly 2 years ago. I'm aware his top level is miles above these, but I believe for the level the mare's performing to now, like right now, should see them closer together in the betting because we don't have to take it on trust.
If you go, if you see 11-10 Conhill, would that be a bet?
Yeah.
No, because I backed it 7-4.
Oh, well, let's pretend you've been asleep and you've just woke up and you've never backed a thing in your life. Conhill's 11-10. He's steaming in.
What price is Brighter Days Ahead?
7-4.
I'll probably just play State Man each way.
George's going to back Burdett Road to play.
That's 20-1.
Look, if your bookmaker's still offering 3 places, again, similar to the Arkle, many aren't now, but if they are still doing 3 places, State Man's an obvious each way bet. He's the only horse that's performed to a higher level than Brighter Days Ahead during the current season with an RPR of 166 on his seasonal reappearance. Obviously, he got beat by Brighter Days Ahead that day, but that was taking into account the mare's allowance, obviously, which she'll still have here, so it's fairly irrelevant. But it's just in terms of the level that he actually performed to that day. And it was, to be honest, it's pretty in line with all of his other seasonal reappearances. The next time was an underperformance for sure. His seasonal debut was exactly in line what he normally did. He was just trying to give £7 to a very good mare and he couldn't. Like that, I don't have a problem with that at all. But a replication of what he did first time out would see Constitution Hill needing a season's best performance and Lossiemouth needing a career best to beat him. He might not be able to find a way to win the champion hurdle, but 8-1 each way about the reigning champion with 3 places is too good to ignore for me.
What's happened here?
I don't know. I think
That way.
All good. All good.
Carry on. Rich, Constitution Hill, does he win? I'll just sort it out in a sec. 1 minute. Sorry, guys. I just pressed the wrong button.
No, you're all good.
Jeez.
Go on, Rich. Constitution Hill, does he win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Lossiemouth runs in here, I think she probably doesn't win, but I think she could have a chance of finishing second. Yeah, for me, out of Brighter Days Ahead and Constitution Hill, I would still be in the Constitution Hill camp. I mean, nothing against Brighter Days Ahead. I just can't get my head around why she didn't win last year at Cheltenham. I still can't figure it out.
Just one of them. Just one of them races on the day. I think it went wrong. It happens, doesn't it?
I can't have State Man. Start of the season, I'm sure he jumped the hurdle in front of Brighter Days Ahead, and she just came back at him, and you couldn't cope with her. Obviously, he underperformed next time out, but yeah, I just don't think he's the same State Man we saw last year. Yeah, it's a question of how far can King of Kingsfield take her in the race is my only question. If you can take her far enough, I think she'll finish second. I just think Conhill is Conhill, and what we've seen so far, it's all systems go in my eyes. I mean, yeah, I just think he wins, doesn't he?
Oh, Lossie!
You don't think Lossiemouth up? Oh, hang on. Sorry.
No, if Lossiemouth runs, I think she'll finish second to him, like she did at Kempton.
If I had a button that could say breaking news, or bottle job, you know, you got more switching than Richie, you have. Anyway,
Well,
carry on.
That's what the exchange is suggested, so she's not going to run here. It's a point of conversation.
So non-runner, no bet. Lossiemouth is 11-8, 2 places. Is that value?
What, champion hurdle?
Not a chance. If you think that Lossiemouth will beat Brighter Days Ahead in this race, that is absolutely insane. Like mental. Because
I want 3 places. I'd have to have 3 places, I think.
Lossiemouth finished 2.5 lengths behind Conhill at Kempton.
Behind a
on
non-fit.
On a
He's not running it here.
But Conhill's going to finish 5 lengths behind.
She'd had a run. She'd had a run, mate. She was fit. She was fit as a fiddle against a 25% Conhill.
But I'd say nothing against the mare. She's a brilliant mare. But when you look at Lossiemouth, she's had 2 chances to beat the boys. She's not performing as good as State Man at home. She's not.
She'd beat State Man if she'd not fall.
But Paul's choosing. She didn't beat the boys twice. Paul's choosing State Man over Lossiemouth, so that's obviously being shown at home.
Paul's got to choose State Man. He's got no choice. I mean, he's got a choice, but obviously he can't
he's got a choice.
Statement after winning him last time.
I mean, if you look at Stateman's, if you arguably look at Stateman's season this season, I know George mentioned his reappearance, but he was massively disappointed in the winter fog, and he was in that race against Lossiemouth. I bet you bottom dollar if he thinks that Lossiemouth was coming alongside, going to beat him, and he did believed in the yard, and Lossiemouth was working over Stateman, Paul would not be thinking, do I jump off him and get on her? He would be on her.
She fell too soon for him to make a judgment, in my opinion. And obviously Stateman works better at home, like Patrick said. So
yeah,
he ain't got a choice. He's obviously going to ride Stateman.
I just think the way you look at the race, in my opinion, how it's going to play out. You'll have Burdett Road and King of Kingsfield up there. You'll have Brighter Days Ahead, and you'll have Conhill sat right glued to Brighter Days Ahead's arse. Coming down that hill, you'll have Pacemakers falling away, Brighter Days Ahead niggling along, and I think Conhill will be on the stale. I think Conhill will win. I think you'll see Brighter Days Ahead in second. I don't think it'll be a massive margin, but I do think Conhill will win.
Do you remember in Supreme when Dysart and John Bond took it on up front?
Yeah.
Did the old battle the pace thing, and they both couldn't see it out, and Conhill absolutely destroyed him, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they're going to set an absolute speed. I think as much as Brighter Days Ahead is a talented mare, I just think Conhill, he can travel at any speed, and he's always got that turn of foot. He's always got that extra little bit that, he's every time you see him, he's been sort of motionless in there. And as soon as the button's pressed, it reminded me in a way, I'm not saying like that, but when we went to the York meeting, James, and we watched Bide, and it was instant. It's like Conhill, he's sat on the girth. Soon as Nico makes that little move, it's instant. And I think that is exactly how the race is going to play out. In my opinion, I can't see Stateman getting to them, and I can't see Lossiemouth. I think Brighter Days Ahead will be too strong of a gallop, and she'll be there. I don't think Lossiemouth has the turn of foot, and I don't think Stateman has the turn of foot to get to Brighter Days Ahead or keep that gallop up. I really don't. I think any other year you'd be all over Brighter Days Ahead. I just think Conhill's special, and I think Conhill will win.
Love it. I think they'll be going to the last together. The pacemakers will have fallen away. They'll jump the last together. Brighter Days Ahead will have one eye on the Guinness Village. Constitution Hill will wing it, and that'll be the end of story. Staying on second. I think it'll be a good race, though. I'm buzzing she's going. They had to go.
I think it'll be over before the final hurdle. Maybe.
She is. I mean, I think Constitution Hill's obviously the best. I think she is extremely talented, though. You can't deny that, and I think it's going to be it's a proper race. It's as simple as that.
I've read one bet on her, and it was at Cheltenham last year. And I had I remember I picked her in my team here. I had an anti-post. I had her backed in from, I think it was 8. And did she go off about 5-2, 2-1? And I had her down to that on the day. And I had my big bet of the week on her. And I genuinely couldn't believe it. And then she go to Aintree and absolutely hose up at short odds. And then ever since I've been like.
So you're not biased against her then, money-wise, Joe? Is that what you're sick of her?
You know what? I'm genuinely not. She is a brilliant mare. Like I say, if it was any other year and if Conhill wasn't in the picture, she'd have all my money. But
if it makes you feel better, Joe, I backed her anti-post at 10s for the mare's hurdle.
I think there's been a lot of anti-post bets being ruined by this.
Anti-post shit show this year.
In terms of for the race, like you said, James, it's the best thing that's happened. I think to have a renewal like this of the. Sometimes like the Champion Chase this year, I wouldn't say it's a dry renewal, but we've got a proper race here where you want to get there. I'm just so excited.
You can tell, mate. It's a good enthusiasm. Right, moving on then. Last thing for day one then, we're going to do handicap selections. Obviously, we're not going to go into the handicap. We're going to go around. And if you've got any handicap selections for day one, you're going to give them now. Obviously, got the Ultima, the Boodles and the National Novices Chase. I'll come to you first, Rich. Have you got any shouts for the handicaps?
So in the Ultima, even though they've got an appalling record, I still quite like Search for Glory if he runs in here. I mean, he finished short head behind Stellar Story, who I like, who finished a next second to Better Days Ahead, giving him weight. I think that was decent form, but the Irish have got a horrendous record in that, so won't be a massive bet. In the Boodles, I quite like Stencil's one behind was it East India Dock last time out, but only one of the last 12 favourites have won this race, and I think he is favourite currently, so again, not great reading. And then the National Hunt Chase, no real strong opinion, to be honest.
No, fair enough. George, have you got any shouts for those handicaps? I mean, what's the UK record in the Ultimate? It must be massive now. I can't believe Rich's put an Irish horse up.
Quite
I
a lot.
think it started in the 70s. It's only been won by the Irish once, I think, is the Ultima.
Soon to be twice.
Good luck with that. The soon to be twice. Love it.
I get just quickly, Town, trained by Lucinda Russell, obviously won this with the Grand National winner, who was very well handicapped a few years back. Needs another.
Does he need a few to come out, Zay?
Just a few. I think, is he 29th? How many are they allowed to run? 24. So he needs 5 more to come out. But this year, the National Hunt Chase is a handicap. You've got the novice handicap as well, either side of it. I think he might get in from out the weights. Like last year, a horse I think ran this off like 117. I don't think it filled. He ran the race behind Caliph de Burley on debut after a year off the track. Had 2 wide margin chase victories, either side of falling throughout Windsor. He looked like winning at Windsor over 3 mile, but he did win over 2 miles, 7.5 at Kelso. Not only did he stay, put up career best performance, an RPR of 136 compared to his official rating of 127 for this. He's definitely open to improvement for people who know how to win this race. And I said there are horses entered in the Kimmuir, the National Hunt Chase, the Jack Richards, like that. I think he'll get in, and at 20-1, I think he's pretty good value. I won't go into it, but I like Sequestered for this as well. Got a £2 rise in the English handicap, which is fair enough, which I think was more than fair. Then we've got Fred Winter, Beyond Your Dreams, sort of if you know the form with that, with Total Look and Slurricane and Wendrock. I think where is he? He's £2 better off with Total Look, £6 better off with Wendrock, £3 better off with Slurricane from when they last met. He's a backable each way, price at 8-1. Mercier and Holy See would be of interest as well. Holy See had Eagle Fang in this last year. They backed very heavily. I
backed Eagle Fang last year.
Yeah, there you go. He's 25-1. I won't go into that. If you want the full rationale, buy the Cheltenham cheat sheet 2025.
Oh, little plug. There we go. Look. If you use the FFP code, you have to pay another £5, though. It's a tenner if you use our code.
Yeah. And then the National Hunt Chase, I will just go quickly into Captain Cody. He was an exceptional bumper horse with a half-length second Slade Steel. Beat Blizzard of Oz 6.5 lengths. He was 6th in the champion bumper. A 6.5 length Grade 2 novice hurdle victory. Earned a mark of 138 over hurdles. Looks capable of more over fences. In 3 starts, his RPRs have progressed from 112 to 125 to 133. He was in that 3-car Bragg race where he was 2 3/4 lengths behind him, who's rated 147. And he was undoubtedly staying on the best of all of them in that race. He looked like Further was definitely going to suit. The fact that connections have only given him this option suggests that they agree. I think he can prove very well handicapped up to this trip off 140. And the other one, I like a bit of a mad one, is a work in progress of Nick Gifford's. He should get into this. I think he needs 5 to come out. Showed a lot of progress. He ran an Irish point-to-point at Belclare. He was beaten 8.5 lengths by Romeo Coolio. He was a length and a half behind Grade 2 and a dedicated hero. He's never able to land a blow over the minimum trip over hurdles. They stepped him up 2 mile 5.5, and he beat Indoor by 4 3/4 lengths. He's now 134 rated chaser with a gap of 32 lengths back to the third. Came back from his summer break. He ran up a sequence of 4 chase wins over 2 miles 6.5 and 2 miles 7.5. His RPR has gone up steadily, even though he's appeared to always do enough. The last of the wins at Lingfield, he showed a degree of professionalism that hasn't always been the case. Like, fairly often he'd be outpaced, he'd be offered bridle, he'd be stoked along, and he'd just get there. He travelled all over them at Lingfield. Like, he showed such professionalism. I've actually sat on this horse and worked him and schooled him, and he's a very, very nice horse for JP's. I think I think he's still well handicapped at 3 miles, but if he improves up to 3.6, he could be a stone well in. He's 16-1 here. Pick Rock will be a slight interest as well. Like he should stay this trip. He's by Mount Nelson, who produced Stairs Hurdle winner Penn Hill. If he improves for the step up and trip, he'll be well handicapped.
Good selections there, George. Harry, have you got anything you'd like to throw out for the handicap? Anything you got your eye on when you have a look through?
I was just looking at Melina Girl there in the Ultima, just purely on Gavin Cromwell's horses at the minute. I think he's having an unbelievable season this year, and he's a trainer that's very, very good at targeting his horses at big handicaps.
Yeah, for sure.
At 14-1, she's good recent form at the minute. And then I think Stencil will take a bit of beating in the Fred Winter. He had a good run the last day, as you said, behind East India Dock. And I think the plan for a long time is to go for this. So, yeah, those two for me.
Love that, Harry. George, Joe, anything you like to throw out for the handicaps day one?
Yeah, pretty disappointed. Well, not disappointed with the price because I got 14-1, but disappointed with the price now. Broadway Boy for the Ultima. Rich, I know we were pretty confident coming into Cheltenham last year when it all sort of started to go wrong for this lad. I seen just to go over it quickly, I seen an interview with Sam Twiston-Davies saying they really fancied him on Boxing Day at Cheltenham, and he was ill after his run. He's entered in the national. I think he's got a stonking chance. There's been a few bullish comments around him, so I think that's why the sort of, the money has come. But he's definitely one who can bounce out in front, not let anything else sort of bother him. He obviously has to be right. He hasn't had the greatest prep. I think 8-1 is a bit short. And then in the Boodles, I absolutely love Beyond Your Dreams. I think this horse, if you watch Mark Walsh, his last 3 rides were. If you watch How Not to Win a Race and make it look professional, you'd say that. He got 7.
Educational.
What are you saying, Joe?
Educational ride is what.
Well, just say what you're thinking, Joe. Just say what you're thinking, mate.
I think he just mistook the winning post.
I think Joseph O'Brien won this race last year with Lark in the Morning, who come here, who had the exact same descriptions in his races of short of room, steadied into them. He's only carrying 10 stone 9. His margins have only been 2 lengths. She's only been beaten 2 lengths. I think it's quite impressive how sort of the right side they've been in short margins. If you look at when she was up against Total Luck, she was steadied in the last, she was short of room, and the way she motored home was absolutely brilliant. I think if you just go watch and look at the runs, you cannot be sort of looking at that one for a handicap. I think it's been set out. It's perfect for a Joseph O'Brien horse. 3 runs straight into the handicap, and then National Chase, Heidi Colours. Only ever finished out the top 3 once, and that was here. Looks like he relished up in this trip. I thought the run round Newby was a perfect prep run towards the rear, stayed on exactly how you want. Course form, which is very important, and I think the new owners will have a good day out in the new colours.
That's good, mate. I think Transmission's going to go well at National Chase. I like him. I know Patrick's going to be on, but might have been James Bourne, but he's obviously banned. But yeah, I see him to go well.
With the Transmission Haiti Colour form line, the only reason I sort of ruled it out was how close Peaky Boy finished to them that day. And that horse he doesn't get 3 miles. He showed it again at Ascot, and he wasn't far behind him that day.
Harry, have you seen Mark Walsh's ride on Beyond Your Dreams? Just a question.
Don't put him in a position now, Jesus.
You can't do that, Joe.
I'm just asking a question.
Listen, I've got a comment here. I've got a comment here from Eddie. Eddie to George. He says, "Who mistook the winning code?"
Oh no!
Eddie knows very well. Eddie knows very well who mistook.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it up. So I won't do.
You got a video of it, George?
There is video of it. Yeah.
We'll be here all night if we don't move on. Listen, that was probably the longest day anyway. We'll fly through the rest. Listen, before we move on, just to anyone who's watching, I've got a £10 free bet to give away, but I've got a question to answer. This is the question. Is this going to show up?
Yeah.
Is that showing?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
How many times has Willie Mullins won the Supreme Novice Hurdle? If you can put that answer in the comments, I'm literally just going to pick one to be a free bet, and you can have it. And then we're going to move straight on because we'll be here all night. Right, the Turner's Novice Hurdle obviously is Final Demand and the new line at the top of the market. The Yellow Clay, Final Demand's out to 2-1. I know there's been a lot of up and down about whether he's going to go to the Albert Bartlett and things like that. Yellow Clay, James's Gate, Potter's Charm, 6 Mile Bridge. I'll come to you first, Joe. Quick as you can, mate. Who are you on for this?
I think it's a very tough one, to be honest. I think in time, Final Demand will be the better horse. New Lion probably suits the conditions. At the minute, though, I just can't go with the New Lion at this current price with a form line of a Challow in there. I know you can't bander a horse that goes for a certain race just because the English haven't had great talents along the way. It doesn't mean, a horse can't win it off the Challow, and he was mighty impressive, but the horses in there haven't been up to much. I do prefer Final Demand. I think you probably get a bigger price. I think all the money is coming for the New Line, especially in the new colours and stuff. Form's better. I think he's getting the sort of comments of doesn't have much speed, but I think he does. I don't think the 2 Mile 5 will worry him up Cheltenham. And in my opinion, I think he's had the perfect prep run. He was very impressive at DRF, and I can't really see why you would. I can see why, because the weather, and the conditions. But in my opinion, I think Final Demand current prices both priced up to 174. I think I'd take Final Demand.
It's tight. I mean, I'll come to you, Harry. Obviously, Final Demand was a hot favourite for this. He's now drifting slightly. New Line coming in. We're looking at good to soft ground. The water in it to make sure it stays that way. I think people are calling it a bit more of a speed test. The New Lion, do you think it's now his to lose, even with the Challow record being as bad as it is?
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the money coming from it there at the minute. He looks fairly solid. The Yellow Clay is a horse. He's been very solid this season. He's had plenty of tests, and he's been able to be given a break there for the last since his last run. So I think he's going to come into this race fresh, and he's probably a good price there at the minute. He's a nice horse. He's tough as well. We've seen that when he beat a horse called Florida Park in Navan on his second last run. He was able to grind it out and stick it out, and he was good the last day in Nace. I like him. He's tough, and I think he's a good price at 6-1.
Will he handle the? You think he'll handle the decent ground? He could be all right on it.
Yeah, probably. Ideally, he wants a dig in the ground. And as you said, it's probably going to be a speed test, and he probably hasn't had a speed test yet. So, look, he's going to have to put his best foot forward. I was very impressed with Final Demand last day at the DRF. He fairly blew me away, to be honest. And I'd fancied him for this ever since. But yeah, it's going to be a nice competitive race to look forward to anyway.
Certainly is, mate. And I'll just put Harrison, you put a comment there, mate. If you take one off and type it again, you can have the free bet. George, the New Lion, Final Demand, Yellow Clay. Are you with the three or are you against?
I'd have loved to have seen Yellow Clay sharpen the Albert Bartlett, to be honest. I think this might be a struggle for him. Final Demand was excellent at DRF, and people talk about having worries about him being fast enough for this, but it's a 2 furlong step up in trip to Albert Bartlett. He only has to drop back a furlong for this, and on a more testing track as well than Leopardstown. I sort of don't understand it really. He hit a higher top speed at the DRF than the New Line has in any of his races. I think he's got plenty of speed, to be honest. And if you look at him on his hurdles debut at Limerick, he ran over this trip, and while it was only a maiden hurdle, they had a trouble to keep a lid on him because he was just out jumping his opposition at every single hurdle, travelling all over them in between. I can't see that he's going to lack for speed. And you've got to take into account the Challow hurdles, poor. Cheltenham Festival record. Like I think there's two ways of looking at it. Is that it's run the 28th of December, so normally it's on soft ground, and by the time you get to Cheltenham, there's not soft ground. There's also a way of looking at it that if you've got a horse ready to win a Grade 1 on the 28th of December, especially a novice, you may have just peaked too early. That's the other way I'd look at it. But I think this Final Demand's to lose. In terms of alternatives, I like 6 Mile Bridge. He could be peaking at exactly the right time.
Drugs cheat.
Yeah. He's shown steady improvement with each hurdle start.
Of course he has. He's been doped up.
He actually beat Bill Joyce 6.5 lengths further than the New Lion did at the Challow, and yet it's 5 times the price. It doesn't change the fact he ran to an RPR of 142 that day, which gives him at least a place chance here. Too little place only chance. I think Quelle Histoire was highly inconvenienced to the Moscow Flyer. Salvatore Mundi tried to put him on the floor, and then he ended up back in 4th, and he ran on well to hit 2nd close home. If there's a bit more rain, I'd half fancy Bleu de Vassy with a place only chance. Like the run at the DRF was too bad to be true, and I think they went quick that day, and they just busted him. I think he's a stayer, and he was out of his comfort zone too long. Like he's the son of Coco Rico, who's produced Coco Beach, horses like that, like stayers. I think he could be the sort of horse to just run into a place. Bonus question for Harry: do you know where 6 Mile Bridge is?
I actually don't. I should know. I've heard of it before.
It's about 5
bridge
miles
near
from
Thurles, is it?
Where?
Say 10 minutes from Ennis, like around Bunratty, around that sort of way. But there you go. And it's ended up in training with Fergal O'Brien in England somehow. But yeah, it's my local shop for a chicken fillet roll when I'm in Ireland.
Exclusive.
All I'll say is if the New Lion and 6 Mile Bridge eat the same breakfast, do you think New Lion wins having the same gear that 6 Mile Bridge is on? Anyway, go on then, Rich. I was on the Final Demand for quite a while. Obviously, he's drifting now. It's the ground. It's a big question mark. Which way?
Don't let the money of the
while I read Google the answer to the question, because I thought it was 6, but apparently Harrison says it's 7. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are worried about Final Demand saying, the ground, dropping back in trip. Like George, he's only going back maybe, was it a furlong, I think you said?
Furlong,
yeah. I mean...
Onto a more testing track.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I think he's going to make a great chaser next season, especially when he's up to 3 miles. But like you say, Ballyburn won this last year, didn't he? He didn't go to the Supreme. And he's, like I say, he should relish to step up to 3 miles. He handled that pretty well. I mean, he's rated 152. The New Lion, though, is just one that I can't get away from because I don't know how good he is. I don't think anybody knows how good he is. I mean, the form isn't anything to shout home about, but he's not really been tested. Like he just beat what he's had to beat, and he's never really broke a sweat. So I'm quite interested to see when that button's pressed what he finds, because he could have quite easily be as good or even better than Final Demand. We just don't know, and that's what I'm intrigued more than anything, which is why I might probably just back him just to see if he could be a superstar for the UK. I mean, like you said, the Shallow, Norman won on a bog, fairly decent ground. Second bolted up at Wetherby the other day. Probably has a good chance in Albert Bartlett, actually. And I think it's going to be some race. A bit like the Supreme. I think this could be another cracker to start the day off.
Yeah, should be a good race. Harrison, mate, you've won the free bet. It is 10. I missed off Abizian. I missed that one off, so well done, mate. DM me or message me or whatever, and I'll get you a £10 free bet for the festival, mate. Congratulations. Yeah, this is a tough race. I was with, obviously, Final Demand, but with the way it's going now, it's looking like will he even go? Don't know. I'm going to leave it till today. Somebody who I thought might be lurking at a big price, if you forgive his DRF wrong, Cade Dawdy, obviously, he beat, is it Cocktail Divan, and he come out and won again, didn't he? So that form might be quite decent, but he'd have to jump better.
How many is JP going to have in the race?
You what?
How many is JP going to have in the race?
Well, he's going to throw everything, isn't he? He can have as many as he wants. You know, the new line coming. I mean, the Cello form is shocking, but it was obviously impressive. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough
Did he
one.
beat Cocktail Divan the last day when he before the DRF, didn't he? And that's come out.
It did, yeah. It did, yeah.
But that
Final
was
Divan
2-4. They
hoses
stepped
up.
him up to 2-4, and he jumped much better. Then they dropped him back.
That's what I mean.
to
Stepping back,
DRF.
stepping back. Yeah, that's what I'm
In a
thinking.
great
Stepping
one.
back up in trip. It was one of them. He was going into that race with Coppet the boards, and there was all the talk of whoever wins this will go up in trip, like what Ballyburn did, or whoever comes, you know, blah blah blah. He's the one I think that's to go up in trip. He's going to go for the Turners. I think it could be. Is it 20-1? It could be an outside little each-way chance of it. We'll have to jump there, but he could do up in trip.
It made no sense to me dropping him back in trip and up in grade when he had jumped so badly over 2 miles last time. Like he could well improve massively from the DRF for sure.
So I'll go for him at the moment. 20-1 on him at the moment. I'll take an each way on that because the top of the market's tough. But yeah, see what happens. Right, moving swiftly on to the banker of the week. The Brown Advisory Novices Chase. You've got Ballyburn in here, Dancing City, Better Days Ahead, Croke Park, nowhere to be seen. Gorgeous Tom, Stellar Story, Key to Bourbon. I'm going to come to you, Harry, while Joe blows his nose. Harry, Ballyburn, talk to me. Does he win? How do you think he jumps?
Yeah, I think he does win this race, to be honest. His jumping is okay. It's not very good, but it's okay, and I think you get away with it. Especially, yeah, I think you'll definitely get away with it. Like the fences are soft in England, like you know, he can rub a few of them and get away with it. I think he's classier than Dancing City. So I think Paul will ride him. I think Gorgeous Tom each way probably has a squeak. It was fourth the last day in the Drinmore, and they went very steady. And I'd say another furlong he would have won. I'd say, you know, the step up and trip here. I think he's going to suit him down to the ground. I think 12-1 there, probably a good price. I don't think Stellar Stories jumps good enough for in this race. Yeah, I don't think he jumps well. I think Ballyburn. It's a good race. It's going to be a good race. But yeah, my money be on Ballyburn.
Good man. I'll come to you, George. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of Ballyburn. I mean, no questions about it. I backed Dancing City all in the season when Ballyburn wasn't really going here. I think Dancing City has it all to do, especially on this decent ground. I think Ballyburn, he jumps fine. Like we've said before on previous shows, I think they were just teaching him to pop, get him settled for it, and he's done just that. How anyone could think Croke Park could reverse that form, I do not know. But I won't go into that too deep. What do you think, George? Who's going to win this race?
Yeah, look, if he's a bad jumper, he doesn't stay with Sergino to 3 out in the 2 mile race at Kempton. As simple as that. Like his jumping kept him in it. And I think just with that in mind, when they went to Leopardstown, he had been going 2 mile gallop, letting fly at every fence at smaller fences. Like at Leopardstown, the fences are built right up. They've got a big apron and they're fairly solid. And I think Paul's ridden him sort of into the boards of quite a few of those fences just to make sure he will get in and use his back and get over and away. Look, we saw a similar thing with Galopin des Champs. Do you remember when we were all saying, why are they dropping this in? He was so good when they were letting him rip from the front at Snoffer. And Sunday in his second season, they were sort of dropping him in and making him pop away. And look how that worked out for them. I think they're going to have to find £10 to beat him. There were 3 horses that I thought could get closer to him for the step up in trips. I think step up and trip will improve him, but marginally. 3 horses that I thought would have got closer to him were Croke Park, who's not coming, Champ Kylie, who's not coming, and the Better Days Ahead, who I think the value's gone. I couldn't back him 7-1, 2 places. I think Better Days Ahead might finish in front of Dancing City, especially if the ground continues to dry. But I couldn't be backing him each way at 7-1, and I'm only playing for 1 place essentially because I don't think he can beat Ballyburn. But he could be second, maybe in the without the favourite market. He would be value if there was some unknown downpour that's completely unforecast. Stellar Story could run a big race, but on the current ground, the only horse I can see getting any closer to him is Better Days Ahead. I don't think Dancing City will get anywhere near him.
Love that. I'll come to you, Rich, then. Come on, mate. Talk to me about Ballyburn. Tell me he's going to win and be quick
Go
about
on,
it.
Rich. Tell us he's going to
Come
win.
on.
I'm with Harry. I think his jump is just okay. I think he's very
What
safe.
more do you want? Literally, what more do you want? He literally popped away. It was on the bridle. Listen, he was on the bridle turning in. Crook Pack is like breezing it. He's popped the lap.
Harry, how scary are the
He's gone
fences
away.
at Leopardstown?
They're big fences.
There you go. Thank
They're
you.
big fences.
If you were coming in to ride a horse at Leopardstown and he'd run over 2 mile the last day, let him fly around Kempton over like little soft fences, how would you approach the first?
I'll fly over them.
With caution.
Thank you.
You can tell who's the
Thank
jockeys and
you.
who were chuffing into the jockeys, can't you? You can tell it straight away.
I mean, yeah, he's the classiest horse in the race. I mean, even if he jumps okay, he probably still wins because Croke Park, I thought, coming to the last, would potentially had the advantage, and then Ballyburn just pulled away from him, didn't he? I think the step-up trip probably will too. Like you say, if the ground was a bog, I think Stella Story...
It's not going to be a bog. It's not going to be a bog, Rich.
I know, unless they leave the taps on. Remember that Wednesday that you were there and they watered the day before it?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. If that happened now, it'd be some godly miracle, I think.
Yeah,
I'll be there Tuesday night and I won't be well. Like, you never know what could happen. Like, I can switch all the hoses on.
End of the day, Ballyburn probably just wins, doesn't he? I mean, I can't really see else has got the class in this sort of race.
Good man. I'm going to finish for you then, Joe, mate. Tell me Ballyburn's going to win and I'll do a couple of comments before I move on.
He sits in behind. Paul lets them do whatever they want. No one's got the same tactical speed as this lad. No one's got the speed of this lad. He's all stamina in his pedigree. He's going to absolutely thump these. I mean, there's a reason why I believe he's about 14 to 16 to 1 for the Gold Cup next year already. I can't believe this lad you could get, 2 to 1 2 weeks ago. The price is absolutely blew, well, half, doesn't it? But yeah, I think he wins and he wins easy. That's it. I think he's the classiest horse in the race. He's all stamina. He'll improve for the trip. And I think Paul's just going to do whatever he wants because he knows this horse is better than the rest of them in the field.
Good man. Ballyburn wins. Bet him. Go collect. Have a good Wednesday.
We should say, because people will have reservations based on like him pulling and that. And I say there's a big difference between a horse that just leans on the jockey and a horse that's free. Like, he's not free. That's just his head carriage. It's down there. He leans on you. And that doesn't expend much energy. And to be honest, as a jockey, but I say Harry would agree, a horse with low head carriage much better than a horse with high head carriage because A, it shows he can use his back, and B, it shows he's looking where he's going.
Well,
like, a horse with a high head carriage is much more difficult for them to get in tight and use their back end because their head's up here. Like, a horse like him, I have every confidence if he's in close that he'll be able to fiddle away. His weight's already in his back end. Like, I mean, it's not concerned for me at all. I know it will be for some people.
You can mention staying or jumping or anything, but the way I see it, he's gonna pop away in behind. And you know the way he beat Croke Park the other day, I don't think Paul was that fussed about his jumping. He knew what he had underneath him.
Yeah.
And if you look the way he jumped the last, and then what he done from the back of the last to the line. I mean, if that doesn't scream that he's going to stay and he's going to relish this, I don't really know what does. I think if he was the side of odds on, or like we ran about Woodsy during the week, if the Turners was a chase, or he was odds on, everyone would be going absolutely mad about Ballyburn. The only time he's been beat is 2 mile good ground against Sir Gino at Kempton. That is, I think it's mental, to be honest.
Ballyburn wins, and that'll do me. Scott's put here, Woods are panicking, Commandant's here. I'm not panicking, mate. I've switched. I've done the Richie switch, and I'm fully on Ballyburn. Fingers crossed, it can do it. Right, moving on then. Swiftly on. I've not even got it in my thing. Oh, my God. We're going to do the Champion Chase. Obviously, John Bond, short price favourite, Marine National. Really fancy what good it. Energumene's the only Willie Mullins runner in here now. Solness, Founder 50 is going to run here. Joe, I'll swing to you, mate. Is it John Bond's to lose? No, Gaelic Warrior. Where is he, Rich? He's gone, disappeared again. Look.
It should be John Bond's to lose. I wouldn't say it's a poor champion chase, but I don't think you've got you do have. I mean, it's hard to say John Bond isn't a superstar with his record, but I just don't feel like he has that. You know that. I don't know the word to say. I don't know if it's Wonder Horse or what. I think you're getting good to soft ground. John Bon will love this. He's had a great prep. Ruby mentioned it when he's coming to Cheltenham. When he's been beat, he went off 1-16 against Calico and only beaten by 5 lengths. That wasn't such a brilliant performance. And then he was beat at Cheltenham in the January, and he only beat Edwardstone by 2 lengths and Haddocks to Zorbo by 4. He's had a much better prep this year. That run in the Clarence House I thought was absolutely brilliant. I think he's now got every attribute you want. He's 9. He's matured. You can sort of do what you want with him. I think Nico's the perfect jockey. He sits when he needs to sit. He fires him in when he needs to fire him in. Good to soft ground. If you could get 3 places, I personally think Marine National's a bet to nothing. But for me, John Bon, my opinion, I think there's better. I'd rather be back in Ballyburn at 11-10, the right side of odds on, than John Bon at 4-5. But I think he is a pretty solid market leader.
Love that. I'll swing to you, Harry, mate. John Bon, does he deserve a lot more love than he gets? A lot of people say he needs the festival win to get that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's such a solid horse. He'll always run his race. And I definitely think it's his race to lose anyway. I thought he was very, very impressive in the Clarence House last time out. He jumped really well. I think Nico just pop him out handy. He'll keep it simple on him. He'll go a nice gallop. I don't know. I think Sonus is a big price at 8-1. To be honest, I know you can say that they probably let him away the last day in DRF, but he went a serious gallop the whole way around. And even when Marine Nationale came to him, he was able to quicken on again. I'd say if I was betting on a horse in this race, I'd probably back him.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked mega the last 2 times. I mean, I'll swing to you, George. Solus obviously be a long way behind John, but at Sandown, but probably run a bit different. The last 2 runs, he's looked impressive. Can he return that form?
Yeah, I'd be similar to Harry here. I think I was in Fairy House last year, was it? Well, yeah, he won off 138 when I was there. Connor Stone Walsh came in 5 off him in a handicap. But yeah, John Bon should be impossible to beat. He's one for the multiples. He's not one for straights. But Solness is a huge each way option here. If you can get 3 places, you're laughing. I'd back him each way 2 places, to be honest. He's improved with almost every run this season, including 2 Grade 1 victories. He shouldn't be capable of beating John Bon here, but John Bon's capable of chucking in an error, and he won't have gone as far as he'll have to go chasing Solness. And I was of the opinion that maybe Gaelic Warrior and Marine Nationale let him go last day, but Calixios jumped off in front that day, and he couldn't go with Solness. But the first day, maybe they all let him go. The second time, he just went such a gallop they couldn't go with him. He was really impressive. I've been of that opinion since. And as you heard Rachel Blackmore said on the Betfair podcast earlier, she said she couldn't have gone with him if she tried on Calixios. I think that sort of tactical pace makes him a banker each way here, because I think basically either John Bon gets to him or he doesn't. He finishes either first or second. And at the price he's going to be, I think that makes him a great each way bet for me.
Is anybody giving Founder 50 a chance? Who I think's been going here now?
Not in this race, no. Maybe in the Ryanair.
Maybe Rich.
I will say one actually. You could do worse. You laugh. You could do worse than a place only bet on Captain Guinness. Look.
Yeah, decent ground, maybe. Yeah.
Move on.
He pulled up on seasonal debut. It's fair enough. He's a 10-year-old. He's run crap twice at Leopardstown, but he's never finished within. The closest he's ever finished to the winning horse round Leopardstown is 11 lengths. He hates Leopardstown. And you look at it above him, you're like, well, Marine Nationale's breathing is suspect. And Erga means 11 and wants soft ground. LA Francais doesn't run. Found a 50s in the Ryanair as well. They've left Master Chewy in here, which is interesting, because I thought they were going to go here with Matata, but they're obviously not, so maybe he comes here. But Captain Guinness would have a shout of squeaking into third for sure, like at a big price. I don't see, like, you take the first 3 runs of this season proper into account. Like, you forget about them. But yeah, he's last year's winner, and you're getting a huge price about him. I could see it. He's place only, but he'd have a chance of finishing in the 3.
It's true. Rich, then, are you with John Bull or against?
I just don't see how he loses. He is far the most superior horse in the race. I mean, he's rated, what is he, 170, 171? I mean, Solness is like £10 below that, and I think Marine National might be even slightly more. Yeah, I mean, I think he'd have won it last year, I think, if Nicky would have ran him. Like I say, he's getting on now. I think he's 9. This has to be his year. I mean, I'm with Joe. I think he's had a better prep for it this year than previous years at Cheltenham, leading up to the festival. I know people are kind of knocking his Cheltenham form, but I mean, yes, his RPRs are less at Cheltenham, but I mean, in the Clarence House, when he clattered one and went down by a head, I think his RPR was 165. Solness got 166 for his last run at the DRF. I mean, he's not a million miles away. So I don't really agree with the Cheltenham thing. Yeah, I think he wins. He's just far superior to anything in the race.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's his to win. Hopefully he gets his big day in the sun. Jeffrey's put Marine National's been hammered in the betting. We'll put up to John Bomb. Yeah, he's been pretty well backed. I'm not sure about that. If he can win. Jack's on. Good evening, Jack, mate. Cheers for tuning in. Some panel this. Good luck next week. Yeah, good luck to you, mate.
Jack.
Harrison said here that in case you fancy backing John Bomb, William Hill preview night special offering 6 to 4. Get 6 to 4. What's that? £10 max bet?
I'd definitely back at that.
£10 max bet normally.
I just put 20 on it now.
Have you just put 20 now, Rich? You weren't going to tell us. You weren't going to tell everyone, were you? Chuffing. I can't have quiet. Right, flying on then. The champion bumper, the last day, then we'll do the handicaps on day 2. I'm going to come to you, Harry. Calypso Chance, He Can't Dance, or Cavanus. Which horse wins this, or do we back all 3?
I think the pick of Gordon's has definitely got to be Calypso Chance. Like, he's a horse. At the start of the season, when I was riding him, like he was very low on my expectations. Like, I thought he was a grand horse. I thought he was kind of more of a staying type. He showed very little at home, to be honest. But his run in Punchestown was fairly good. Like he kind of romped home, to be honest. I kind of got off him, and I was very impressed. And I kind of thought to myself, it's like, maybe he's just fluked it a little bit. I kind of thought, like, everything behind him that day didn't run like this. Everything stopped behind him. You know what I mean? And it was a good time. But then I made a great decision to get off him the next day, because I thought Classical Creek had a better chance. Just his work at home was very, very good. And Calypso Chances, he's ran a bit keen and still a bit green, and he's quick in a way really, really impressively. Like, he looked like a very, very classy horse that day. And I really like a horse that's able to not show that much at home and then being able to produce it on the track. A horse that's better on grass is there's just something special about a type of horse like him. So I'd say Jack Kennedy would definitely get first choice in this, and hopefully I'll ride something a second choice. Hopefully, He Can't Dance is I was third on the last day in Leopardstown, kind of a race where we didn't go that quick, turned into a bit of a sprint, and I stayed at it real well on him. But I think, if we go a nice gallop in the champion bumper, like, he's definitely a good each way price there, 33s. Like, he's a horse that will keep finding off a fast gallop. Like, he's definitely going to be a horse that wants a trip in time. So, I can definitely see him running a good race. it's obviously it's hard. It's hard when you're talking about these horses, but then like Willie has, very good chances in it. Like you just have to respect. You have to respect. When his runners in this bumper. I was kind of a bit surprised that Patrick. I think he's riding Copacabana. I thought he might go for Game of Inches, but yeah, I like Game of Inches as well. I just thought he done it very easy the last day. He's a massive, big raw horse and probably will be a stayer in time as well. But he didn't even come off the bridle, and Patrick didn't have to ask him much at all. And he quickened away easy on that ground. He probably is a horse that wants soft ground, and it might not come up for him. So maybe that's why Patrick is riding Copacabana. Yeah, I was kind of Pipes horses out of it now. It would have been an interesting one, but it's hard to judge on that summer form. I think another horse maybe heads up each way. I actually rode him in. I was second to a bumper on him in Galway early in the season, and he's came out and was second behind Clips of Chance the last day in Navan, and probably a horse that just will hopefully keep improving. He's a little bit quirky, so hopefully he's kind of leveled out a little bit and maybe can run a big race.
Love that. I mean, there's a couple of nice big prices there. I mean, like I say, the bumper's always tough to dissect, but there's a couple of nice chances in there. I'll come to you, Joe. Have you got an opinion on the bumper?
Yeah, to be honest, another not disappointment, but Copacabana. Obviously, I written this sort of earlier on in the week, slightly back end of last week before Game of Inches was
back in a sec.
Game of Inches was about 3-1. Copacabana I've got here was 5-1 at the time of writing. David Casey, and obviously we had Sean O'Keefe on the podcast. They both mentioned that this lad won the race at Navan and said it was a pretty hot race. There was a few connections and owners fancying their horses in that race. And like you said, Harry, when we spoke to Sean, this lad doesn't really do that much at home. Apparently he's not very flashy at all. He doesn't show a whole lot. And he was sort of up there in terms of horses, but he wasn't, that one. Yeah, that'll be Patrick's for the season, whatever. And he's the way he seemed to go through the gears. I think he made that race look pretty, not poor, but I think he made them horses look ordinary in there. Maybe they're not that poor. It's quite hard to see where them horses are going to go and what the form is in that race. But for me, from David Casey and Sean O'Keefe, it was a hot race, and the way he went through the gears, and same again of Game of Inches in a way. He wasn't asked that many questions. He'll have learned a lot from it, and I just thought he was very, very smooth. And I think, like you said, you've got to take in order Willie's runners in these bumpers, and I think for me, Copacabana, especially now being Patrick's pick, is the one to go with. George, I don't know where he's gone, but we'll go for you.
You're never still talking, Joe. You're never still talking. Go on then, George. Bumper.
I'm with Clips of Chance here. Like, he made a great visual impression on his racecourse debut. He beat 4 previous winners when he won his small field listed bumper at Navan. He reminds me, I think I said on here before, he reminds me a lot of like Notebook that Henry Bromad had before. You look at him, like the visual of him is he'd be a big staying chaser type. He's got bags of speed. And I imagine like that would have a bit to do with if he's on all-weather gallops at home, he probably struggles to even like get his legs organised, get out of his own way. Once he gets on a bit of soft turf and he can get his toe in, he can show a bit more speed. Like I think he's a crack in each way, Bex. You'll have like, what would you get, 5 places, even anti-post on this? He should relish like the test of stamina this is going to be. He's a point-to-point winner. He should have a bit more improvement to come than some of these because he's not run that much, basically. I'm glad that Harry said that about he can't dance because he was my idea of sort of like, if he ran down the field in this, I'd almost, if you can get like 100-1 about him for next year's Albert Bartlett, I'd almost get stuck in because the jukebox juries don't tend to have much speed. I watched his point-to-point and he just sort of stayed on that day. Like, what's he like at home, Harry? We've a few jukebox juries here, and they can be a bit sort of on their nerves and that. What's he like?
Yeah, he's actually not too bad. When he first came back in, he was a little bit quirky. They are definitely a bit quirky, Jukebox Juries. But he's settled down an awful lot. He's a good head on him, I think now. I think he's a horse that probably is just improving as well mentally, So yeah, he's definitely got a lot sharper in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's shown a high enough level for me in bumpers that I would be interested in him as an Albert Bartlett horse for next year. I think they tend to go one way or the other, and it depends. Obviously, at Gordon's, you've got a load of good lads on them, and I think they can learn, they can improve. But if you have the wrong people on them, they can go totally the wrong way. These jukebox juries, but he's a horse I like a lot. I couldn't have him on my mind here. I'm going to give you one, and I hate myself for saying it. I never thought I'd put it up. Gary's horse in here, El Kairos. I put up on here as a horse to follow at the start of the season. He's run once, and he obviously absolutely blitzed them in this new group bumper. He's going to be ridden by David Maxwell. That's how much I think of this horse. So I think as long as David Maxwell is given fairly simple instructions, i.e. follow Patrick or something, this horse, this is going to be my biggest opinion. This horse is a machine. This horse does things on the gallops I've never seen any horse do at Gary's. He's absolutely incredible. We can work him with anything, and we can't even get him to drop it. If Maxwell can just not mess up too much.
Mess it up too much.
Hang on, who's on him? Who's on him?
David Maxwell.
The machine Maxwell.
He rode a winner at Doncaster, was it last Friday, and then rode a winner at Otoy on the Saturday. He's in form. This horse is the best horse he's ever owned by a country mile. I'm not saying it's the best horse we've ever had, but it's the best bumper horse we've ever had.
What's the horse called again? Sorry, George, I missed the name. Sorry.
El Kairos. You can get 40s, but actually, 40s is widely available. Betfair, Paddy Power, Sky Bet. This horse is really, really nice, and trust me, I want to not tip him. I really want to not tip him.
Sounds like you want to.
No disrespect to David Maxwell. I would love for him to win this, because can you imagine the Twitter meltdown of Owen Mullins and Elliot Hotshots getting beat by David Maxwell owning his own horse at Cheltenham?
I can't wait to see. You're gonna have Jack Kennedy on Calypso Chance, and you got Harry Swan flying past him, and then David Maxwell comes on the bridle. On this Gary Moore horse, and we're all thinking, what's this rocket that's just done the race?
I think I rode a piece of work with him a few months back, and it was me on Moulin Clermont, who's rated high 120s, and then Hansard, and we literally just stacked up. I went as fast as I could on the high 120s horse. Hansard took it up off me, then El Kairos just came past ripping, absolutely ripped past Hansard, who's finished, was he third in the elite hurdle the other day? This is the best bump horse we've ever had by a street. This is a really, really nice horse, and he'll be 40-1 on the day because he's ridden by Maxwell. I think as far as each way bets go, he's a banging each way bet.
Not after everybody's watched this, George. He'll be down to 10s tomorrow.
We're going to have to put a little bit on him out. We're going to have to put a couple of quid each way on him now, just for that. I mean, you've got to do after that.
Well, exactly. Well, the good thing about this, I don't have to worry about upsetting the owners not getting a prize because he's a jockey, so he can't back it. So this is a really, really nice horse. This when I put him up on this show, I thought he was quite nice as my horse to follow for the season, and nothing has happened to do anything other than improve my opinion of him. Look, come next season, he might not be able to jump a hurdle, but right now, this is a very, very, very nice horse.
I can just get to see Maxwell's face like that as they go down because he flies off the handle. But yeah,
slow down.
Go on then, Rich. Last word on the bumper. Then we'll quickly do the handicaps, and we'll do fast the last 2 days.
I mean, I was going to go for Calypso's Chance, but George, I think, has just sold me on David Maxwell. Yeah, it's always a tricky race. I mean, you've got the two Mullins horses. I think they've only had one run under. Very, very hard to gauge. I mean, visually very impressive. I would just like to side with a bit more experience. Calypso's Chance beat Sword the Guard by 15 and then heads up by 4.5. Seems to be improving. Yeah. short
Love
and
that.
sweet.
Well, I'm Calypso Chance and I'm also on E-Cart Dance. Harry, don't let me down. Don't let me down, mate. Come on. Right then, so handicaps for day 2. You've also got the Coral Cup, the Cross Country Chase, and the Grand Annual. We'll swing round. I think Be Aware wins the Coral, so that'll do me. Rich, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm with you. Coral Cup, Be Aware. Harry Skelton seems to confirm that he'd appreciate the Staffordshire trip. I think Dan's also said it's probably his best chance in the handicap. Finished second to Bernadette Road in the Greatwood. What else we got? Grand Annual, again, I'm on the Skelton handicap, lucky 15, I think. I've got Uninspected Party in the Grand Annual. Won it last year off 138, runs off 144.
Form's working out last year as well. I think he's a good shout.
Yeah, Skelton, I think we said on the preview that his work's been decent and should run his race. May not win, but I think he's a decent each way play. And I think that's the only 2 that I've got for day 2.
Love that, George. Anything for the handicaps day 2?
Yeah, I got in the Coral Cup. Festival form's always important. Ballyadam was obviously second off this in 147 last year. Only found very well handicapped Langadan, too good. His other start on the old course saw him finish second in the Supreme Novice. So there's no doubt the course suits. On his sole start this season, he won. He beat St. Sam, Punchdown December. His RPR of 115 matched what he ran to in this last year. So the fire's obviously still burning. He's had 10 runs off the back of 50 breaks or more. We've yielded 3 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. So it's no surprise he's coming here fresh again. He's £4 higher, but it's unlikely anything to be as well handicapped as Langadan was. On festival form, Sandal Cleggan's 2 best RPRs come with his 3rd in the Albert Bartlett and 4th in the Brown Advisory, despite jumping badly. His run in the Grade 2 Galmoy was an RPR of 146, which is best of the season. Soft ground's ideal, but his all 3 of his career victories have come between yielding and yielding soft, so shouldn't have too much of an impact. And Darby be very interesting wherever he shows up, based on he was beat 3rd into the Fred Winter last year, 2nd in the Galway Hurdle. He's a horse that's trained for targets. He runs here off 140. Like he'd be interesting wherever he turns up. I think one of my best bets at the festival, to be honest, is Late Night Pass in the cross country. Gets an £8 pull at the weights for the favourite, having finished 4 1/4 lengths 3rd to him last time out over course and distance. I think it's huge value. Like he's managed in his 3 runs on the cross country course over this distance. He's been 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, recording RPRs of 140, 146, and 146. He comes here off 144. He's incredibly reliable, and I can't see him out of 3. Conflated carries top weight, but at the start of the season he was rated 165, having been as high as 168. He's now down to 157. They say he jumps cross country fences as well as anything they've ever had, although he's beaten a long way on his cross country debut. He needs a handicap mark for this. He will have learned a lot from that. I think it's way too big a price at 33 to 1. Grand Annual, got Unexpected Party, speaks for itself, bit higher. Beat a horse that's now a stone higher in Liberty Hunter last year. Price might be gone a bit now, but still of interest. Dancing on My Own has only been seen once since summer, finishing 3rd, beating 5 3/4 lengths over this course and distance, 12 stone on his back. That was only off a pound higher than he'll run off here. He earned an RPR of 158, which is his 2nd highest ever. Behind the 159, he achieved when winning a handicap over this course and distance off 152, so 151 in October 23. Like in 3 attempts he's had over course and distance, he's produced 2 career bests. He's getting older, but Henry will have his horse in form. The other Mozzie would also be of interest.
Love that. I agree with most of that what you just said there. I think I definitely think Unexpected Part is definitely got a massive chance in the Grand Annual. Harry, have you got anything for the handicaps on day 2?
Yeah, I agree with you, James, about I like what Dan Skelton said about Be Aware for the Carl Cup. I think Woodhull would be interesting, but probably will go for the Martin Pipe, I think.
To be fair, she's seen a little bit of money for Coral. She's seen a little bit. She's into 8, second favourite now, which is interesting.
That's,
but yeah,
that's probably just they left her in it today, though. I'd say.
yeah, true.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'd say she'd probably go for the Martin Pipe, to be honest. But yeah, I like Vanillier in the cross country. I think. I thought he was very good the last day in Punchestown. I thought he was a lot sharper over the fences that day.
Did he have cheek pieces on?
Yes, first time.
Yeah, he did,
Cheek pieces on as well. Yeah.
And I think he could probably he's a horse where you could just bowl away on him in the cross country and let him jump, let him wing fences, and kind of slowly increase the tempo. And I think he's a horse at 9-1. I think he's very good value. He's a horse that could run horses into the ground, But yeah, no, that's me for the handicaps.
I'd say my worry with him is they sort of tend to sprint from 3 out in the cross country. Would he have the tactical pace to do that, do you think?
Yeah, that's why I'd love to see him kind of just bowl away and make his own fractions and kind of increase it from, you could use his stamina from early, maybe 7 out, you could start increasing the tempo and just kind of make it into more of a proper stamina test from.
Take a good ride, but it's doable. He'd have to do it once the twists and turns stop. He'd have to press on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that Joe, any handicap selections for the second day?
Just exactly what's been mentioned. Be aware, an unexpected party. No sort of secrets in them. Is there really 2 well handicapped horses? Skeltons love the handicaps. It's all there to see, really, isn't it? Be aware. The form with Burdett Road and whatever. And unexpected party won the race last year, which is key, isn't it? So fingers crossed they'll have a decent run in the handicaps, and there's a few more in the sort of Thursday Friday roll that I've took as well.
Sam, we'll move on to the third day. Then I've got one more question for another free bet. There's quite a few people watching, so if you are in the comments, the next question for the next free bet is as follows. If this shows up, is that showing?
Yeah.
Takes forever on mine. Who was the last horse to win a back-to-back Stayers hurdles? It's an easy one for you there, guys. Last horse to win back-to-back Stayers hurdles. Put it in the comments, and you get a £10 free bet. Right, moving on, guys, to the Mares Novice Hurdle. Obviously, we've got 6.5 in here. Maureen, Caroline Bamboo each way. Galileo Dames in here, 8-1, whether she comes there or the Triumph, we don't know. But Jubilee Alpha, sort of bigger than the rest. I'll come to you, Rich. 6.5, Maureen, or bigger?
I would potentially look somewhere else. I mean, favourites don't have a great record on this. I mean, you had Golden Ace at 10s last year. You well won it at 16s. Love Envoy was 15-2. The 2 that had maybe chance out on the outside would maybe be Diva Luna, potentially. I know Keelan Woods mentioned it on the Cheltenham show we did. I don't think we've seen the best of her yet. I think I saw somewhere that Ben Paulin thinks they've got her back to where she was. Who else we got? I also like Caroline Bamboo, but I think she needs a bit of a slog. I mean, she finished second in the Group 1 over in France, and then was beaten by Baby Kate on the UK's hurdle debut on decent ground. And then she won the next time out on heavy. So yeah, they're 2 that had maybe chance at sort of a bigger price away from the front of the market. Because like I say, they don't have a great record.
Willie Miller boosted Ballyburn to 2-1. 2-1, fill your boots. George, anything in the Mares Novice?
Yeah, well, if Galileo Dame came here, I think she bolts up, but I don't think she comes here.
I think she's going Triumph, isn't she? I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's gutting. So her RPR of 145 is streets ahead of most of these, and she'd received £10 from all of them. She would hose up. But I can tell you why the others won't win. 6.5 won a main hurdle very impressively. The 8 horses that have run since have not won a single race between them. Caroline Bamboo beat Qualameter less than a length, who's 6.5 subsequently beat by 12 lengths. And when Qualameter finish behind Caroline Bamboo. Caroline Bamboo was finishing behind Baby Kate, who then came up very short in Grade 3 company next time. In fact, the only one of the principals who has beat a subsequent winner is Maureen, who beat Mount Shemsan, who won a Clonmel handicap off 97. Like, it's not inspiring form, is it? Like, the only ones I come up with, a couple of, it's not mad one, but Diva Luna's very closely matched with Jubilee Alpha on bumper form, and she's a bigger price, and she's already a winner at the trip. She's 12 to 1. What I found that was interesting, it is a bit of mad one. Hollygrove Cha-Cha has mostly raced at intermediate trips this year. Wide margin wins over 2 mile 3 and 2 mile 5 in mares novice events, and she just held on the Grade 2 Jane Seymour over 2-4 at Sandown on soft ground, where I think we probably found the limit of her stamina. But before that, she was keeping on seconds Jubilee Alpha over 2 mile and half furlong at Taunton, which is a famously flat track. Given she was closing at the line on that day, and then the next day was tying up over 2 mile 4 on a stiff track, possible that like this trip at Cheltenham, with an uphill finish, could pull some more improvement out of her. Certainly enough to reverse with Jubilee Alpha, who went on to win another speed track in Windsor. I think 25 to 1's way too big given Jubilee Alpha's, what price is Jubilee Alpha? I haven't got it in front of me right now, but significantly shorter than 25 to 1 anyway. I think her and Diva Luna I would play if Galileo Dame doesn't show up. If Galileo Dame shows up, she wins.
Love that. I'd agree with that. I think it's tough at the top of the market. Galileo Dame should come here. She'd definitely have a massive chance. Harry, Mares Novice, anything that's got your eye on?
Yeah, I think 6.5 I think she's be tough to beat in this, to be honest. I don't know, just even going back to her bumper form last April, she beat Colcannon by 11 lengths. I remember her from winning that. I really loved her that day when she won, and then kind of went messing with her on the flat for a while. And I thought her run was good the last day. And I think she'd be a better horse on a better mare on slightly better ground as well. And I think she's coming back into a bit better form. She looked a bit sharper the last day. I think she's a classy enough mare to beat these. Maureen didn't blow me away the last day. I probably wouldn't. Just didn't blow me away, to be honest. I think 6.5 to me, to be honest. I think she'd take a bit of beating.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, to be honest. I mean, Joe, 6.5. I mean, Marine, obviously, you've been a fan of her since day one, haven't you, really? But she was all right on debut. I don't think this sort of test's going to suit her, though, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't write her off. I mean, it's not a certainty. To be fair, I think the market is, and the full field is very open. I don't think there's a rock solid favourite in there or anything near that. I'm in Maureen at 6 to 1, so in my opinion, it's a bit different. I think 6 to 1's a decent price. Don't get me wrong; I don't think she was ever going to blow the world away on a maiden hurdle debut, but I don't think she was massively impressive. There'll be massive improvement come though. She's immaculately bred. Willie will have an A1. He said her homework's been brilliant. She jumps well. Probably Diva Luna each way in there, like Rich mentioned. But apart from that, mate, I don't really have a massively strong view in this, and I'd struggle to think anyone has a very strong view.
I'll do with that. Moving on to the Ryanair then. Factor file probably going to go here now, do we think? Ile Francaise obviously going to go here now. Gaelic Warrior, whether it gets confirmed here, I don't know. Whether he's going to skip it, I'm not sure. But Protectorate as well. Banbury Split House, going to go away. Jungle Boogies, then look at a bigger price. I'll come to you, Joe. I mean, if Factor File goes here, are you backing him or are you taking him on?
No, I backed him earlier on in the week. Non-runner, no bet, 7 to 4. Decent price. Well happy with that. In my opinion, if he comes here, he wins. I think Ile Francaise has got it all approved. Arguably just wants a stiff track. Couldn't trust him after the start of the season he's had. Then you're looking through Protectorate, maybe the danger, the way he's rated. He's 10-year-old now. Willie's had no sort of qualms in saying he is going to be the Gold Cup horse next year. He's got tactical speed. He won the John Durkan at the start of the season. Yeah, you could say, Galloping sort of doesn't go there to win the race. He's not going there A1. But the rest of the field, you had Spillane's towering them off, and Fast or Slow, who showed no excuses. He hasn't set the world alight, but he's only 8-year-old, and he's up against horses like Galloping des Champs. I know people say in the DRF he couldn't beat Grange Clare West, but let's be honest, he was only 4 3/4 lengths behind Galloping des Champs. He was 2.5 lengths ahead of I Know the Way You're Thinking. He was ahead of Monty Star. The form stacks up. I think if he comes to Ryanair, to be totally honest, he wins. I can't see any other argument.
Fair enough. Harry, I'm going to come to you, mate. Factor File, would you be with him or against him? Do you think LA Francais is going to handle the course? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see LA Francais just go out and make the running here. Like Factor File, obviously winning the John Durkan was a very good performance. And just I just felt the last 2 runs he just hasn't settled as well as he'd like. I think this 2.5 trip will suit him a lot better. He'll be able to relax. He'll be able to go at that stride a bit quicker. And I think it'll be a good race just to watch between Factor File and Le Francais. I think, you could probably throw Spillane's Tower in there as well. You probably question his recent form, but going back to John Durkan form, he was very close to Factor File. So yeah, it's between Factor File and probably Le Francais to me. I don't know, but I'd probably, at 10-3, you probably possibly take on Factor File with Le Francais. Like his King George run was very good, I thought. Didn't stay out the trip. And I think if he just gets into a good rhythm, jumps well, I think it could take a bit of beating from the front.
Yeah, I'd be, if he handles the course, obviously the King George run's very mega impressive. Ollie Banbury's picked him up late.
Yeah.
Slight drop back in trip. It'd be interesting. What, George? Are you in that sort of same camp? What do you think?
I'm on the Protectorate train here. The ground will give me a bit of pause, but he's got more in his favour than most. Like, I think Factor File's here because he can't win the Gold Cup. Like his career best on ratings and on RPRs was in the Savills over 3 mile and half a furlong. He's yet to perform to an RPR of 170 plus at an intermediate trip, which he'll need to win this. LA Francais is in the same boat. Nothing really in his form suggests that a drop down in trip will improve him. Gaelic Warrior, most importantly, he's performed to an RPR in the 150s on 10 out of 13 starts in the UK and Ireland. In the Fred Winter and at the DRF last year, he obviously performed lower. The only one he's ever performed higher than 150s is in the Arkle last year. So at what time do we treat those performances like the outliers they are and accept he's a 150 horse? No, like the data's there that says he's not the horse that ran in the Arkle. Like maybe they're overrating that race, I don't know. But Protectorate actually matched his career best RPR of 172, which he achieved in the 2022 Betfair Chase in his 11th length win, and when he won the Many Clouds Chase in 2021 by 25 lengths. Last time out, he actually matched that on RPRs in the Fleur de Lis at Windsor. He's probably a little flattered by the 23-length defeat of Jello because there is a front-running bias at Windsor. But Jello winning the Denman Chase next time out is still a pretty handsome compliment. He's improved. Last year, he improved steadily in 4 runs for winning the Ryanair. And his 3 prep runs this year, he's already achieved a higher level than he did in winning the Ryanair, where he achieved an RPR of 150. I think there's loads in his favour. The each way price has gone now, but I still think I'd be with him. In terms of an each way alternative, I'd have found a 50. Like if he came here, like he was found to have a snotty nose when he pulled up at Lepstown over Christmas, but his net defeat of Solness in the Fatria is looking more impressive by the day. People would have concerns over the fact he can jump right, but that only ever seems to happen when he's running over 2 miles. He's out of his comfort zone. He's had 3 attempts at intermediate trips, and he's yet to jump right in any of them. Most importantly, he recorded his career high RPR of 165 when he won the Grade 2 at Down Royal over 2 mile 3.5 on seasonal debut this year. So he's also unbeaten off the back of trips of 60 days, off breaks of 60 days or more, which he'll get here. So his ideal conditions are to run fresh over an intermediate trip, which he'll be doing here at a big price. If it did really dry out, if it came like good, like all over, actually I'd be a little interested in Envoy LN. Like he ran a good race last year, he won it 2 years ago. He's crap round Kempton, we all know that, but he won a Grade 1 on seasonal debut before that. And he's won 10 of his 17 career victories have been on faster than soft. Again, this horse that's the massive disappointment. I say this every year. This horse that everyone thinks is a massive disappointment has won 17 races, and I can't understand the negativity around him. It'd be a dream to own, be an absolute dream to own. He's a Grade 1 machine. He's a winning machine. People are just upset because he's not Arkle. He's by Mahathir. He was never going to be Arkle. He was never going to win a Gold Cup. He was never going to stay. But yeah, he'd be of interest if it really dried out.
Love that. I mean, I quite like the Protect Track angle. Obviously, I won it last year. I think Windsor, he was mega impressive. I know there's a front running bias, but the way he travelled and jumped that day, I thought that he looked primed for this. So yeah, I'd be with him as well. Rich, go on then, Ryanair. Then we'll move on to the stayers. Handicaps for day 3.
Yeah, I would be on the opinion of Ile Francais, I think, for this. I think his running style, potentially we could see similar to when Alaho won it from the front. I mean, he just bolted off and nobody could keep up with him. Like you said, great one in the King George, just didn't really see out the 3 miles. Drop back and trip should suit. I think the decent ground's good enough. Yeah, I just think he'll bolt off, get into rhythm from the front, and I'm not sure what's going to catch him. Maybe Factor File, but like you say, he's been running over 3 miles, similar to the Lossy Mouth thing. I think Willie's been changing styles to try and get him to beat galloping. Now he's dropping back in trip potentially. I think he will go for the Ryanair because I think JP is going to have Corbett's Cross and the one that's been supplemented. Is it I Know Your Way of Thinking? That one?
Yeah.
Obviously,
soft in the going.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be a good race. Like I said, I do like Protector. I was on him last year, but I just think Ile Francais from the front will take some stopping.
Love that. If he gets in the rhythm, mate, it takes some pigging back. Right, anyway, the Stayers Hurdle then. A great race. Love this race. Come on in, Harry, mate. Teahupoo. Rock solid favourite at the moment. Home by the lead. Lucky place. The Wall Park, I believe, has actually, while we've been on air, is been confirmed going here now. He's not going Potency, he's going here. Mystical Power, obviously, potentially going here. Langadan as well. And sort of bigger the rest. What are your thoughts on Teahupoo, Harry? Banker or bust?
Yeah, I think he's definitely the horse to beat in this race. Look, he's obviously a horse that's just purely targeted at this race every year. And he will be for probably the foreseeable future anyway. Look, he's in great form at home. And he's just, he really, I think he comes alive there at Cheltenham as well. I think it'll take a lot of beating, to be honest. Home by the lead, like, it's interesting just to see him this year. Like, I don't know, for some reason, but he looks like a different horse. Like, he looked a bit kind of roguey last year, but he's kind of just whatever they've done to him, or he's just kind of a bit more enthusiastic now. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. I know JJ Slevin is fairly is confident with him. But yeah, I don't know. There's doubts about a lot of the others, like Mystical Power. Just doubtful our last 2 runs. Declan Quealy's horse, Rocky's Diamond. He's only a 5-year-old. He was good in the Galway last year. He will have to step up and produce a very good run if he's one to be in the mix here. But yeah, I'd just be interested to see how Home by the Lee runs in this. Yeah, he just, as I said, he just looks a different horse this year. Really sparked into form and just, yeah, he looks like he's having his best season so far, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Tupu will be all right? I mean, a lot of people try and use the ground as sort of a stick to beat Tupu with, but good to soft. Do you think he'll handle it, won't he?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. What was it last year? Neil? It was a good soft last year.
I think it was officially soft in the end last year. No, he won at Punchestown, didn't he? That was decent ground. Although yielding, that's pretty decent, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't think the ground would be too much of an issue for him, to be honest. Yeah, it'd be a good battle, I think. But yeah, I think it's Tupu's race to lose.
Come on, Tupu. I'll come to you then, Joe. Tupu, are you with him or against him?
I'd say with him, but I'm against him at the current prices. I think you've got.
Are you with him or against him? Are you with him or against him, mate?
Right then, I'm against him. I think. I know he's only 6-year-old, but I really do like the chance of lucky place each way. I think the better ground will sort of be in his favour. He's had some really good form to his name. I think he hasn't probably had the credit he deserves or the talk up he deserves. Obviously, Nicky's got a tremendous amount of talent in the yard, and because he has I'd say not a fair few. He's got a few seconds to his name. He's probably not in the category of your Sir Gene or your John Bon, and therefore he's not really, classed as the top horse, if you like. But I think he's got some really good form next to his name. He's never been out the top two, apart from Cheltenham last year, 2 mile 5, when he was a closing fourth in the Coral Cup behind, obviously, the handicap Langadan. And if you watch that run back, he was ridden cold out the back, and he did stay on pretty well. I think he's won this year on good ground. He's won on soft ground too. Big Gowl Roll. I know Golden Ace over 2 mile 4 isn't anything to write home about, but I just think he's a horse who has backed himself up. He's showing a fair bit of form. He was only half a length off Gidley Park last season in the Grade 2. He's finished close, very close behind some very good horses, and I think as a 6-year-old this year on the better side of the ground, I think you can get, what can you get now? Can you still get 8-1 in places?
7-1.
7-1 in place, I don't think is a bad price at all here. Yeah, that'll be my win, the race.
No, fair enough, mate. I can't see it myself, but go on then, George. Are you on something against Tupu?
It's similar to Joe. Like Tupu might just sweep them, but I can't back horse at evens that we haven't seen since December the 1st, even though that's the plan. I totally understand what happened on his reappearance. Like, the ground came up quicker than expected. They weren't going to absolutely drill him against a horse that might have beaten him anyway over a trip that wasn't going to suit. They were quite happy to let it sort of turn into the sprint it did. And I'd rather just take a couple against him each way, and one of them is Lucky Place. Won't add a whole lot onto what Joe said. The other thing I would say is in the Coral Cup, when he was fourth behind Langadan and Ballyadam and that, he ran a career best while all of Nicky Henson's horses were either running terribly or being withdrawn at the festival last year. And that when he beat Gal Road and Golden Ace, he was conceding £6 and £10 respectively. I think he should hit the 3, especially as a 6-year-old on the upgrade. And if Tupu was below par for some reason, maybe he could get by him. The other one is the Wall Park, who also has the distinction of beating Gal Road at Cheltenham. He did it on the old course, but he did it over 3 miles, conceding £4 to him. So while he doesn't have the course form that Lucky Place has, he is a proven stayer. He reminded me a lot of Sada Burley in the long walk at Ascot. Like, he nearly fell out the back of the TV with his tail flashing, and then he absolutely flew home. Like, it might be the tail flashing might worry some people, but the way he did just get on with it in the end is hopefully promising. I think he's just 7. I'd rather take 2. I'd take 2 younger horses each way. If both of them are placed, I'll make a profit. If one of them wins, happy days. But I just can't back Tupu at the price he is. I'm happy to just watch him win.
Now, fair enough. Rich, are you with Tupu or are you against him?
I mean, I just can't see what beats him. I mean, they're doing the same thing they did last year. 1 run straight to Cheltenham. Arguably, he should already be a 2-time Stayers Hurdle winner. I think I can't remember who he finished second to that time. I think David Russell was on it.
Burley.
Side of Burley. Yeah, I mean, he's already beaten most of these in last year's contest. He's still a younger horse than the rest of them. Yeah, he's obviously better fresh. That's why they have the one run and then straight to the festival. The ground, I'm not massively concerned. Obviously, the softer the better, but yeah, I just don't see how he loses, to be fair.
Yeah, I think people will sort of use the age of the field last year when it won, saying, a lot of aging horses last year stick to beating with, but this year shows the level of the race for me when the second favourites, another 10-year-old, has been there three times or whatever, been beat 3 times. I think he'll win. Whether you're steaming to him as an even favourite single, don't know, but one for a little bit of a fun multiple, I think he's the one to be on side. I think he will win. I think it might be his last one. I don't think he'll win next year. It might be something that starts to come out of the pack for next year, but I think he's got one more in him. So I'll stick with him one more year. Finish on the day 3 handicap selections then, Rich. I'll come to you first, mate. Obviously, we've got the Kinmure, the Plate, and the Patents, and also the Turners handicap, your favourite race of the festival. I'm sure you've got the winner of that race, haven't you? Come on.
Yeah, so the Turners handicap.
Or would you prefer the 3-runner Turners Grade 1?
I mean, I always prefer graded races. The handicap chase. There's a lot of talk about Nürburgring being set out for this. Won the Galway Hurdle off 139. Has been getting experience over fences. He's now set up to 143. Could be well in. Finished 4th in the Triumph last year. And then obviously you've got Jaguar, who just seems to be improving. Started off at 118 over fences, now up to 139. Good race. What we got? Patents. I quite like Nicky Henderson's 2 in this. I mean, you've got J. Code Repene running off 135. I thought it was a nice run to qualify 3rd at Exeter. I mean, he's previously beaten Lump Sum, who's rated 144 the hurdles. And Fiercely Proud, 137. That was at Doncaster when we were there. I think he could be well handicapped for something like this. And then you've got Shanger Bob, who I know we all thought was going to be a nice horse. Obviously, didn't really work out for him. Finished 4th in the Sefton last April behind Dancing City, who's a 150 horse. And the Jukebox Man was 2nd, who's a 148. Again, might be off a nice mark. What else we got on the handicaps? The Plate, if he runs Cribbilly, finished 2nd in last year off 140, drops to 138. And
I think they're Ultima, I think it could come out today. They might be going Ultima with him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is a bit crazy.
Doesn't stay.
Yeah.
I don't think John he did an interview, didn't I? I don't even think he knows the trip of the Ultima. He kept saying 3 mile, but it's further, isn't it?
Yeah, I won't back him for that personally. And then the Kinmure, obviously the news broke that Johnny Hugh's probably going to go for this, and people think he's been lined up for a big one. And yeah, I think they could be right. I mean, he's been running all the grade 2s, finishing 3rd. I mean, he's finishing 3rd behind the Jukebox Man, Mark for Gold, and Jinko Blue. They're all 148, 142, 151 horses. He's rated 140. I think it'll go well. That's it.
Love it. Go on then, George. Handicaps for day 3.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it as brief as possible because there are quite a few handicaps on this day. With Golden Miller at the minute, obviously we've spoken about Nürburgring. We think Handbrake will be off here, but at the moment Asian Master's probably the one I favour. He's been well backed. He obviously beat Better Days Ahead 10 lengths in a novice hurdle, finished 4th in the Supreme, earned a mark of 144 over hurdles, which is the same mark he runs off here. Between his hunter chases and 4 points, he's run 5 times over 3 miles, finished past the post in front twice, including a 6-length second to Factor File on debut at Bell Harbour, I think it was. There's no way he doesn't improve the step up and trip 2 mile 4.5. And to be honest, there's an argument off his 7-length 3rd to Marshborough, who's now rated 162, that he doesn't need to off 144 to win this. Ampian Dirk would also be of interest, who won a 50 grand DRF handicap last time, £12 higher now, but probably had to be at least that well in to win that. Moving on to the Temps, I like Long Draw. he broke his maiden in a handicap hurdle off 100 back in May at Foss-Lass. Run up a string of 4 seconds over 2 mile 4 and 2 mile 5. Went up another £12. Stepped up to 3 mile and he won off 120 over this course and distance in October, winning as far as he liked from Gal Road, who's now rated 148. Long draw for context is still rated 127. It seemed on his next run he'd be unbeatable. However, he ran in the Temps final qualifier, I think at Wincanton, off the top of my head. And funny enough, he just finished 4th and qualified for this race by finishing 4th, which is the minimum he needs to do to qualify for this race. I imagine he'll run substantially better than he did the last day. Doddy the Great would also be of significant interest. He's got great handicap hurdle form. Comes here off 131. On to what's the next one? The Festival Plate. Gemeron being my main play in this. Won over course and distance of 136 back in December on good ground. Went hampered badly by the second horse jumping across him at the second last. I think that was Madara. He was a close enough winner anyway, but undoubtedly value for a good bit more, despite recording a career best of RPR of 152. He was disappointing next twice over course and distance, but they were both on soft ground. And in the second of them, he was just never put in the race. His 6 career wins have come, of his 6 career wins, 3 have come on good ground and 3 have come on good soft. So the soft ground wouldn't have suited him. What's more, his 3 course and distance runs on good or good soft have yielded a win in a grade 3 handicap and a third in a grade 2 handicap. If he gets a sound surface over this course and distance, he'll be impossible to stop hitting the frame. 2 others of interest, Ryan, who jumped much better in cheap pieces the last day, was running a blinder in this last year until he nearly fell, I think, 4 out. Cheap pieces seem to have sorted him out, and he's off a pound lower than he was when he finished second to Hartwood at the DRF last year, who had about a stone in hand. Ginny's Destiny, if he can turn it around, would be of interest there. In the Kimya, Mr. Vango wants soft ground, but would be interesting if he got it. Samajest, everyone knows about. The one I would be interested in that be a bit less well known is Mint Boy. He only got an extra £1 for the English handicapper to add to the £3 he got for being beaten 11.5 lengths in a beginner's chase at Punchdown by High Class Hero. While that doesn't sound over-promising, it's only the 3rd time in his career he's tackled distance 2 miles 6 or more. Those 3 runs are all responsible for his 3 highest RPRs of 127, 127, 133. The fact that he's yet to step up to 3 miles over fences suggests to me that Gavin Cromwell's been protecting his mark by running over inadequate trips. His jumping's improved massively on his last 2 starts, and he comes here off a mark just £1 higher than his hurdles mark. So if a fence has improved him at all and a step up to 3 miles can improve him at all, he could be very well handicapped. And he was left out of the Ultima yesterday, so he will be coming here.
Brilliant. I had to just bob off then and get my charger on my laptop. I didn't realise how low it was. Harry, have you got anything for the handicaps on day 3? Have I asked you already? I can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, I think one
for the last day.
One for the Pretemps. I think Will the Wise for Gavin Cromwell. He beat me actually in a bumper. I rode Jacob's Ladder in the Punchestown Festival last year, and they liked this horse a lot. And his form has just been a bit in and out over hurdles, but I think in the last 2 days they've really gotten back to good form. And I thought his run in Nace the last day, Connorstone was settled well, and kind of I think he won very easily with a lot up his sleeve. So I think he's 10-10 on his back. So yeah, I'll give him a nice shout at 7-1. And then on the Kimure, I think 9 Graces for Barry Connell at 16s. I think he is at the minute. He's a nice horse. He won very well the last day. He won well in Punchestown. He's carrying 11-2 here. I think he's a bit up his sleeve as well. And to be fair to Barry, he's good at training them for the big days as well. So yeah, I give him a shout. And I'm just on Favor de Shamdu as well, a horse I might ride in the Kimyor. He was third in the Thyestes this year, and he was third last summer in the national trial. He's a good horse. Just a bit worried. Does he have enough? Is he carrying too much weight? To be honest, 11, 12. It's a lot to carry, and does he have enough up his sleeve to get away with it? But yeah, I think 9 Grace is a good bet. 16th.
Love that, lovely price there. Joe, last one, the handicaps for day 3 then, mate.
Yeah, Nürburgring, already mentioned. I think the handbrake comes off. 143 seems light to me. Good in the description, seems decent as well. Will the Wise, just backing up what Harry said, keep it short. In the play, I do like Krabilly. Obviously, I'm hoping he comes here. Finished second in this race last year off 140. He's now off 138. He's clearly a horse with plenty of talent, and if his jumping stands the test, he'll definitely be bang there. Hopefully he goes. Kim Muir, I did have Johnny, who I liked the horse early on. Seemed to go a bit wayward. Obviously, Derek O'Connor's riding now, so that price has completely collapsed. And that's it for me in the handicap, short and sweet.
Love that, mate. I'm with you. I think if Krabilly goes to play, he's got a right chance. And I quite like catching Derry in the Potemps if he gets in. I think he needs 1 to come out. He's off for 129. I think I've got it down. I quite like going in May Boy, but I think he off the higher weight. I don't know if he might struggle off that, but yeah, quite like catching Derry if he gets in. That'll do me. Right, I know it's been a long night so far, guys. We've got 1 more day to go. There's 537 people watching us live, so at least people interested. I do appreciate we're going to keep going. Last day to do. We're going to do the Triumph Hurdle. It's flip-flopped a little bit now. You've got East India Dock, who's in at favourite. Lolamba, who Joe quite likes. Hello Neighbour, who Rich likes. Lady Vega Allen, Galileo Dame's in there. I'll come to you, Joe. Why is Lolamba going to win?
I think this horse is so special. I mean, we'll obviously hear it up. It'll be cleared up off George, but he give Mondo Man £10 the last day. I know he pulled, but I feel like the way he come alongside him, he barely give him a squeeze. And if you look at horses that they get from France, first run to second run, there's absolutely massive improvement. I think this horse has the X factor. I watched the podcast of Lee's, which is Only Fools of Racing, and Matt on there, who is Constitution Hill's rider, only strengthened my thoughts in this race and had this lad down as his bet of the festival. I think he's got such a good temperament. I mean, it's only his second start on a race course. He's going to improve plenty from that. £10 in hand. If you watch Nico's body language, he hardly touched him. And I think the last 50 yards, he was only just getting started. I genuinely think this lad's an absolute stonking bet. And I think you'll probably see him drift out on the day, and I'll probably have another nibble in on him.
No, fair. I don't know. We've been a little bit bullish now to follow Lambert. Harry, then go on. Then East India Dock's now gone into favourite. Hello Neighbour, obviously won at the DRF. What do we think of that race? Do you think could come out and maybe reverse that form? We've got Lady Vega Allen, Galileo Dame in there. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that race, to be honest, in Leopardstown. It was a funny race to watch. They didn't go that quick. And Hello Neighbour was dropped out a little bit, and he won it well, but I don't know. I wouldn't be looking into the race too much. I think East India Dock, to be honest, I think he's a great shout. Like he's obviously a course and distance winner. He knows the track very well. He beat Stencil very, very easily the last day, which a horse I fancy for the Fred Winter. So yeah, I definitely think it's going for the English in this race. Yeah, Lulamba obviously looks like a very good horse. Obviously doesn't have the experience East India Dock has. And just based on the experience, I'd probably go for East India Dock. It was interesting to hear Nico on a podcast talking about Palladium. He said, I don't know, maybe he was just trying to please owners, but he was saying that he was kind of half saying that he might even ride Palladium in it. He didn't know which one to ride, so I don't know. It's a funny one, to be honest. But yeah, I
trying
think
to keep the stock value up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think he's the underdog, to be honest. Most experience on this track as well. So I'll go for him.
Yeah, so it looks strong. We've got UK definitely got a strong hand in this, George. Are you with the UK or are you going to go with the Irish?
Yeah, I'm going to take Rich's thunder a bit here. We know who I'm with here. It's Hello Neighbour. Achieving a flat rating of 97 from 2 career starts takes a lot of doing.
Do you think he'll be all right off a stronger pace? I know they went a bit of crawl. Sean O'Keefe come on and said they did go a bit of a crawl.
Well, look. There's two ways. Well, there's one main way of looking at that when they go a steady pace and the first and second come from off the pace is that it was a bad race. The other way of looking at it was 2 exceptional horses, which is the most unlikely option. But it's what I think happened. I can't get away from his hurdles debut at Leopardstown on Boxing Day or St Stephen's Day. Sorry, Harry. It was one of the most impressive hurdles debuts I've seen. He was a 3-year-old who had only seen a race course the first time in September to sit up with the pace in a Grade 2 at a big meeting and jump as well as you could possibly expect. Shows a huge amount of ability and intelligence. The couple of times he had to shorten were taken as negative by many, but I think it's a huge indicator of the horse's ability to think on his feet in a high pressure situation, which is going to be invaluable at Cheltenham. The DRF, he showed adaptability to settle at the back of the pack and make smooth headway off the slow pace. He improved it on his hurdling debut by £7 on RPRs. And on both occasions, he idled in front. I think he'll pull out more in March. If I think that about him, I obviously think Gallo Dame's a decent shout each way at 16s. If I was going to go place only, if there was a absolute deluge, I would fancy Bacchanalian. He's a price. He was beaten 10.5 lengths by Hello Neighbour at the DRF and took 3 attempts to break his maiden over hurdles. But he was unsuited by the way the Leopardstown race was run. He was outpaced turning into the straight. But he learned plenty from it. He won competitive rated hurdle and ace, earning an RPR of 129. And then stepped forward again, won a Grade 3 the next day. If it came up soft, he'd be of interest. And I think Mondo Man does run. And I've seen him the other day. I don't know if he was schooling or what, but he went out in a ring bit across noseband.
Has he calmed down yet?
But he doesn't pull at home. You could put a child on him at home. Honestly, you could put a child on him at home. So I said to Jamie, and Jamie was the same. Going, well, what's the point of this? Because he's not going to pull at home anyway. But if he's ever going to settle, it'd be off a Triumph hurdle gallop. If it came up he would be. If it came up soft, I'd think about Bacchanalian place only. If it didn't, I would think Mondo Man might be value off a strong pace. He's the highest rated of any of these on the flat. And I'd love to see him not settle in a Triumph hurdle. He'd have to have some amount of speed to do that. But he would be. He's like you're getting compensated in the price, and he'd be of interest. But I'm all over Hello Neighbour.
Caelan must have massive arms after the last race, trying to keep hold of him.
I think Caelan's exact words when he saw him yesterday in the hood, the noseband, and the ring bit were, "God, I must have made him look like some bear, didn't I?"
Go on then, Rich. Are you with Hello Neighbour?
Yeah, short and sweet. Hello Neighbour. I mean, I know Eastern Orthodox sets a good standard, and we've only seen the Lambert once. I was just fairly impressed. Like Jordan Hello Neighbour, I mean, his debut run, it was a bit foggy. We didn't see too much, but like he said, first time ever hurdles, was a Grade 2 thrown in. They obviously think a lot of him. I don't think he does a lot when he gets to the front. I mean, he cruised into that DRF race. He thought he was going to win by 5 or 6. I think as soon as he gets to the front and there's nothing around him, I just think he just does enough. When he does get challenged, he puts his head down and keeps going. So as long as he's going over the last and he's sitting second in with a chance, I think he's a good has a very good chance.
Rich, if he settles, does
St.
Lucy have a chance? 25-1.
Not a chance.
Come on, Rich, bolted up Punchestown the day before the year. She did not. She just. I'd put a line for that completely.
Is there a
Mullins couldn't
handicap?
believe it.
Is there a handicap she's rated in? Entered in? anywhere?
No. She gets the weight allowance. I think she'll go here. I think she will still go here. Why not take a chance? 25-1. If she settles, I'd put a line through that. I'd give her one more chance.
Should we next to Mondo Man? Having a little dance.
We shall see. Right, last couple of races then. The Mare's Chase will fly through this one. It's not much of a race, but Dino Blue's now a short favourite. I'm going to come to you first, Harry. God knows where Joe's gone, but Allegory Devassi, only by 9. I was on Bioluminescence, but I think that's done now. I don't even think she's going to run now with the ground. Limerick Lace, Telepathique is the one I quite like at each way price now. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Mare's Chase?
Yeah, I actually haven't looked at this race much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of them, innit?
Yeah, I probably don't have a huge say in it, to be honest. Just possibly just going off Dino Blue's record around Cheltenham. Like, she was second in the Grand Annual, and she was obviously second in the Mare's race, in the Mare's Chase as well. Yeah, probably just going off that. Probably Dino Blue, to be honest. She's the most experienced mare in this race. Yeah, short and sweet.
Yeah, she's been pretty well backed as well. Into 13-8, 64 favourite. Joe, quick one on the Mare's Chase.
Yes, Dino Blue for me. I think she definitely does stay the trip. If you look at last year, she made 2 1/4 lengths from the last fence to the eventual winner. I think they sort of ridden her to stay that day and realise she does stay. She's a standout in this field. She's got all the experience. She's probably got the best form this season. I think she will take all the beating. I think a lot of the. It's been pretty quiet around her, but she was about 5 to 2 or 1, wasn't she? And then all of a sudden, that got gobbled up, and she's into 13-8 best price. So, in my opinion, she wins that.
Fair play. Rich, are you with the favourite or against? He's only by 9 potentially. You put her up for the Mare's Chase before, didn't you? Thought it might go Arkle, now she might go back here again because of the ground.
Yeah, I think there is rumours that she potentially will go here rather than the Arkle.
She's not in the Arkle anymore, I don't think. Is she?
Oh, she's not in. Even better.
Actually, yeah, she might have been confirmed. Actually, yeah, she might be still just going here then. Yeah,
I think she's only in here now. Yeah.
I mean, she was fairly good last time out extra. I thought, winning by a length, giving weight away. She has tried the distance, I think, last season at Fairy House, but it was heavy. It's going to be completely different conditions. Yeah, it's not a race I'm really get excited about. I thought Bioluminescence was quite solid until last time. Dino Blue, given the conditions, has a better chance. I don't think she stayed very well last year, but it's going to be completely different conditions, and she is the classiest one in the race, so she probably wins. But I obviously would like Only by Night to do the business.
Good man, George. Last word on the Mare's Chase, and we've got 2 more races to go. Then we're done. And then
the ground probably swings it a bit in Dino Blue's favour, but I'm on Telepathique here. Her RPRs have improved consistently since going chasing. She's gone from 123 to 151 in 5 runs. Most recently with absolutely slaughtering Bryce Hill, who consistently performs somewhere between low 140s, mid 150s. Her 4 wins over fences have come on good or good soft, which is what the ground will be for this, especially given it's the first chase of the week on the new course. However, her maiden hurdle win on heavy ground will give you a little comfort if it did come up a bit softer. She's a young horse who's continuously improving, whereas a lot of the principals have question marks. Dino Blue doesn't seem to get 2.5. Allegory Devassi's had chances to win this before and can't get it done. Limerick Lace is ground dependent, completely out of form. Bioluminescence probably isn't coming here, but she blotted her copybook last time out, and her 3 highest RPRs have come at 2 mile 6 or above. One that might not be coming here that would be of interest if it did come up soft would be Spindlebury. She obviously beat Bioluminescence at Fairy House last day. She improved hugely from her first chase start to her second, went from an RPR of 132 to 145. She'll have to step up again, but she's only had 6 career starts and 2 chase starts. her two highest RPRs of 140 and 145 came in a 2.5 length second to Jade de Grugy in a Grade 1 Mares Hurdle at Fairy House, and her defeat at Bioluminescence at the same track. Only thing is that the former was over 2 mile 4 on heavy ground, latter was over 2 mile 6 on soft. So it would want to be soft for me to be interested, especially at the price she is at the moment. So the main play for me would be Telepathique.
Nice one, George. I like I say, I'm with you there as well. I think Bioluminescence she's gone now, so I think for me, Telepathique is a good each way play. Right, second to last race, then the Albert Bartlett. I'm going to come to you, Harry. I quite like Wingmen for this. Obviously for Gordon Elliott, but you've got Final Demand. Obviously, seen a lot of money for this. Wherever he'll actually go, you've also got Yellow Clay at the top of the market. These two may even go to the Turner, so it could throw it up prices wise. The Big Westerner, Jasmine DeVoe, and sort of bigger the rest. What do you think the Albert Bartlett, if say the Final Demand and Yellow Clay both went to Turners, do you think it's open then?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be an open race. I'd say that the Yellow Clay will definitely go to the Turners, I think. And Final Demand will probably go as well. Yeah, it's funny. Wingman is just a funny horse to me. I just can't really figure out, like, does he want 3 miles or not? Like, is he better just going faster over 2.5? I'm not 100% sure. Like, he was good the last day over 3 in Leopardstown. But to be beaten by Final Demand for 12 lengths, is it good enough to win an Albert Bartlett? I'm not sure. I think a horse called Ballybow could be interesting because the race will cut up a bit. I thought he was good. He was gutsy to win the race in Clonmel the last day. And it turned into a little bit of a sprint, which didn't suit. And he got to the line very well. He obviously kind of had a bad run in Fairy House. I think he got a bit of a knock that day, so I'd probably scratch that race. But yeah, just judging on his recent form, like, I think he's just a solid horse that will love this distance, and especially if the race cuts up. At 20-1, I think he's great value there at the minute. Obviously Henry de Bromhead's the Big Westerner there. I think I was listening to Rachel talk about him, that she loves him. And he won well the last day in Limerick. Yeah, so I think it will be quite an open race, but I think Ballybow is good value at 20s, to be honest. And then, yeah, I just have my doubts about Wingman. Just over this trip, I think he could be slightly better over 2.5. Just going a good gallop 2.5.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to be fair, I was going to ask you about Ballybow. Somebody messaged me today asking you about him. Do you think he'll handle the ground as it sort of is? I know he comes second on good to yielding. He's won on soft, heavy. But do you think he should be able to handle it? Do you think?
Yeah, I think he should be able to handle it. Like, obviously, the softer the better for him. I think if they go good gallop, I think he should suit it fine. Yeah, he's just a solid horse. He won I think he was second in a point and looked like it turned into a bit of a sprint, and he just got kind of probably outpaced. I think, a good gallop will suit him. Yeah, obviously it'd be ideal if the ground came up softer, but yeah, I think he's just good value there at the minute.
No, I'd agree with that big time. Love that, Joe. Go on then, Albert Bartlett. You muted.
Sorry, mate. Not a great strong opinion on this one, to be honest. The Big Westerner. Something must have gone on while we've been on air, because she's gone into favourite now on the exchanges and is short as 4-1 in the on your online on your betting sites. She was about 6-1 on the way home. I called into Ladbrokes and had a small little bet on each way. So Final Demand, I don't think will go here. Yellow Clay, I think it's a bit of a messy race, to be honest. Anything could win this. I've gone with a Big Westerner. Nothing much really to say. It's not a race that I'll be going massive on. Do you know what I mean?
Now, good man. Go on then, George. Albert Bartlett. Are you a fan of the Big Westerner or are you against?
No, I would have been with the yellow clay here. Obviously, that doesn't go by the sounds of it. But actually, it's left me pretty strong on another one. I really like Jet Blue here. I think he's significantly overpriced. He's a Grade 2 course and distance winner last time out. Probably wasn't the deepest race, but the third horse, Yellow Car, won on his only subsequent start. Regardless of that, the style he won in was so impressive regardless. And the experience of a new course in Cheltenham would be massive. On the subject of experience, he's running 10 French bumpers and 5 hurdle races, which probably make him the most streetwise of these, particularly compared to bigger, more backward Irish types. I think experience here will count. It's going to be tough. It's going to be an end-to-end gallop. And he's actually got behind the yellow clay, sort of obviously known final demand. The final demand in yellow clay don't run. He's got the highest RPR in the race, which you can get 16s, but really is a 10-to-1 shot. I think it's much too big. And I mentioned him earlier for the Turners, but Blur de Vassy, he's probably a place only bet because he needs to find a lot of improvement. But the second to Romeo Coolio and Leopardstown in the Grade 1 over Christmas sticks in my head. He was 9 lengths behind, but he looked like he really needed a step up in trip. He's already a winner of a bumper, a main hurdle, and a Grade 3 novice hurdle. So there's enough ability to think that his flop at the DRF was too bad to be true. Like I said, I thought he got busted by the speed they went. And yeah, being son of a Coco Rico, he should improve the step up in trip. He'd be a place only shot. I think he's 40s. But Jet Blue would be the main play.
Jet Blue for George. Go on then, Rich. Finish us off with the Albert Bartlett, mate. I think whatever you're backing, it's got to be double price anyway, this race.
Yeah, I've not really nailed my colours to anything strong in this at the minute. I mean, looking at some trends, one of the last 12 were favourites, 2 of the last 12 were top 3. And then you look at something bigger. I mean, 10 of the last 12 winners were 11-1 or bigger. Yeah, I've not really got a massive opinion. I mean, Derry Hassan Paddy potentially could run here. He's a horse that I do like for Lucinda Russell. But yeah, I wouldn't like to nail my colours to something just yet. I mean, early on, I kind of picked Stellar Story last season because he just looked an out-and-out staying tight, but I've not really found the winner of this yet, I don't think.
No, there's not wrong with backing it on the day, mate. Like you say, favourites graveyard, big prices very often win that race. That'll do us for that then. The last race then, guys, then we've got the handicaps and then we're done. Yes or no answer. Rich, does Galopin Des Champs win his third Gold Cup?
Is Brave Man's Game running in this, or is he not?
I just knew you were going to say something about Brave Man's Game. I just knew it.
Yeah, obviously, it's going to cut up massively, I think. He's a short
Could it
prize.
be the smallest? What's the smallest field we've ever had in the Gold Cup? Does anybody know?
No idea.
Maybe Arkle's third Gold Cup, 6 in that or something.
Yeah, we might even get less than that. We'll see. Go on then, carry on.
It tends to be a feature when a horse is going for its third Gold Cup, the field cuts up.
Yeah.
I think
he's beating everything, can he? He runs his race, and barring any mishap, he gets round and he wins.
Does he win his third, George?
Yeah, he wins. I'm gutted about this. I think Grange Clare West was the only horse in England or Ireland with a chance of maybe not beating him, but certainly finishing second to him. And he's been pulled out because supposedly he's going for the Grand National, but I think probably to give Galopin Des Champs best chance of winning 3 Gold Cups. If I had to find one each way against him, L'Homme Pressé is a huge price. He was 4th in it last year after running below par in the Ascot Chase, which is the same case again this year. He's had 3 starts on the new course, resulting in 2 wins and a 4th in the race last year. One of those wins 2 starts back. He recorded an RPR of 166, which is the same as what he recorded when he was 4th in the Gold Cup. It's Galopin Des Champs race and the rest are nowhere. Banbridge might not stay. I think Monty Star lacks tactical pace. Corbett's Cross can't jump. Factor File, Grange Clare West and Grey Dawning won't run, which leaves the door open for a horse that is guaranteed to run in this race, which is L'Homme Pressé. I think 20s. I think let's say you can get 33s, but I think 20s is the general price.
Love it. Harry, come on, mate. Galloping Deschamps, third time, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Procession?
Surely he wins. Yeah, I think. I can't see him. It's going to be very hard to see him being beaten. This, to be honest. Yeah, he's a legacy horse now at the minute. Yeah, he's just class, isn't he?
Yeah.
I know the way you're thinking. Is that will he be supplemented?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've said they're going to supplement him, but then they did say only if the soft in the going, but obviously if it's good to soft, you'd think he'd run, so yeah.
I think he could possibly be a horse who could back to be second. He could run home to finish second in it. I don't know what prices he is now, to be honest, but yeah, he's just interesting. He could just do one to chase him home. Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting. A really small field and just sort of galloping. What's he going to go off in front, George? Are you going to win?
Yeah, mate, wins. I've literally written down Galloping Deschamps wins. No explanation needed. That's it.
Top notes.
Love that. Well, the last section of the show, then we're almost done. Whether we'll get under 3 hours, I don't know. I do know it's dragged on a little bit, so I do appreciate everyone watching. We're over 600 viewers, which is great. So cheers for tuning in.
Viewers is good at this time.
I know, but what time we're on at? Nearly 11 o'clock. So thanks. Everyone's a bit tired now, but it's been a good show. Joe finishes off then, mate. We'll swing round handicaps for day 4. Sorry, we've obviously got the. We've got the what they call it, I've lost it already. The County, the Hunters, and the Martin Pipe. Have you got anything for those races?
I've just got one main one really. It's Valgrand. Seems to be well handicapped off 1-3-4. Was very impressive in the October meeting, and since then has had 2 out of 3 non-trying runs. Let's be honest. Skelton said he lost his way. He said he would have fancied him. He would have had a chance November, December time, and it's the same old Skelton line, isn't it? Oh, the sun's on the back. He's starting to get everything ready. The Skelton's now to get one ready for a handicap, and I think this lad is the one. Kopek Demi in here could be the danger. He's obviously thrown in. You know, they've all mentioned you've got your Gaelic Warriors, and you know you've got your other Mullins horses that get thrown in. But for me, Valgrand, he's got the course form. The better ground will only be better for him. And I think he's got a hell of a chance in the county hurdle. Good man. I'm going to come to you, George, mate. Anything on the handicaps on the last day then? You must have something for Pop Hunters and all, surely.
In the county, I like Pied Piper in the Coral, but he wasn't confirmed for it today. And he obviously ran on Sunday. So I'd assume there's a fair chance he's just not running. But he's off the same mark he was when he was beaten ahead in the county 2 years ago. He runs well fresh and that. I thought it might have been a tune-up on Sunday. Maybe it wasn't. If he doesn't run, Carnique was very impressive on Irish debut at Tremor. We ran out 11-length winner from down Mexico way, who won a maiden by 10 lengths on his next start. He also beat Grana Troy, who won a maiden by 7.5 lengths 2 starts later. He was beaten in Grade 1 company at Leopardstown Christmas, but he literally nearly fell at the second hurdle under Patrick Mullins. Never got his momentum back. Then in the Grade 1 at DRF, it looked like a confidence builder. He was dropped right out to get him jumping. Joined onto the back of the main field after the second, made up a lot of ground despite being badly hampered by a fall of 4 out. Eventually finished second, well beaten by Popek de Board, but 9 lengths clear of the third. That was the fastest time of the whole meeting. And I thought we did incredibly well to get as close as he did. Popek de Board's now rated 157. He was beaten by 13 lengths. He's rated 146. If he'd been given a proper ride, because I understand why they gave him that ride, I'd say it's a talented horse. 146 probably underrates him. Lark in the Morning, we all know what's going on there. I was interested in Al Nilam. I don't know if they'll run him now. He was second in the what's that race at Kelso, Battlemore at the weekend. I think he probably had to win that to line up here, but he was one that was on my shortlist. So I don't know if he'll show up now. On to the Fox Hunters. Angel's Dawn just wins. She, like, what was it? She's run over this course of distance twice in the last 2 Kim years. She beat Stumptown by a neck, receiving £4. Stumptown's now rated 157. And then the second time, she was the only horse mounting a challenge, now 160 rated. I Know the Way You're Thinking, and receipt of £3, falling 2 from home. She's got to be a mid 150s horse at the very least, which has got to be enough to win this. Like, the fact that she's won 2 points by 6 lengths this year suggests she's not on downgrade, and yet she'll receive £7 from all the main contenders here. Declan Queeley's horse was just beaten 4 lengths in this 2 years ago, Rocky's Harrier, after which he won 3 points on the bounce, finished second in the Hunter Chase, missed all of last season. He was second to Wing Leader on his return and beat Cons Rock in January, who had won his last 3. Suggests he's probably capable of running well again for a yard who are having their best ever season. A bit of mad price. Lift Me Up was second in the Stratford Hunters Chase, split What a Glance and Fairly Famous, who are 21 and 16 to 1 for this. He's 33s for this. He's got a high level of Hunter Chase form. I think he can improve further, because they put cheap pieces on him last time out, and he won a Warwick Hunters Chase, giving £1 to the runner-up, Benny's King, who then on his next run won Leicester Hunter Chase by 8.5 lengths. That Warwick Hunters Chase actually produced the winner of this race with Hazel Hill a few years ago. Actually rode in it. I went as fast as I could from the front, and this thing was sat upside me the whole way, pulling whatever his name was, arms out, Darren something. But I think with the headgear on, he can run into a place at 33s. Then on to the Martin Pipe. Woodrow, I don't need to say what her chances are. Everyone knows the form. Like, she beat a hell of a lot of good horses. It was Joyeuse, Take No Chances, and Royal Margot, who are all winners since. I like Gin Coco here, 33 to 1. Had a low-key campaign this year, but started it off this mark by finishing second by a neck, conceding £15 to Washington, who won again on his next start. He's now rated £15 higher than when he beat Gin Coco. Quiet run next time allowed him to drop back down to this mark again of 133, which happens to be the same mark he won his last race off in November 2023 when he beat Favois 2 3/4 lengths. He's not yet run the new course, but he was second on the old course 2.5 years ago for mark £2 lower than this. He's on a winning mark. He can have a bit in hand trying this trip for the first time. So again, he's another Coco Rico. He's who produced Coco Beach and Iroko. So I'd say this trip won't be beyond him. The Pensionaire ran the other day and got beat, so I say he won't get in. The Enabler would be of interest also off that where he finished behind McClory the last day at the DRF.
Love that, George. I agree with you on Angel's Dawn. I think you said sorry. You joking? Sorry, I've had a bad cough all week. It's doing me. Angel's Dawn for me for the Fox Hunters. I think you've got some really good points there. Woodoo is the interesting one in the Martin Pipe. I know she has the form. I just can't have a me myself, but we shall see. I think Valgrand for me in the county, and Absurd if he goes. I don't know if he does with Paul Tanner on. I think might be well in, but we shall see. Harry, then I'm going to come to you. Have I been to you yet, Rich?
Nope.
I'll come to you last, mate. Harry, handicaps for day 4. Well, I stop myself joking.
Yeah, I think Woodoo, obviously you've mentioned her form. I think she's got to be a big shout in the Martin Pipe. Gordon obviously loves to aim one at this, and I think Danny Gilligan will probably ride her, and I think that's a big help, having Danny on her. So yeah, I give her a big shout in the Martin Pipe, and then for the county, sure, Kopek to me is obviously so well in this race. I think Lark in the Morning is interesting as well. It was a fairly foggy day in Leopardstown the last day, so I don't know. I think I think they could have been using the fog to their advantage the last day. So,
Just
I
a
think,
bit.
yeah, I think he definitely is a bit up his sleeve. Yeah, I'd probably go. Yeah, I think he's good value at 8-1, and would do in the next pipe.
Would you have a ride in the Fox Hunters, Harry?
No, I actually trying to get one, but I can't. It's so hard to get one. You kind of need a horse for the whole season to have one. Yeah, it's so hard to pick up a spare. I had no open horse this year, so no, I've nothing at the minute in life.
Jeez, it's fair competitive out there then. Well, I suppose the Opens only ever have 4 or 5 runners out there, don't they?
Yeah, like it's so hard to pick up an open horse for the season. Like you have to literally be on it from the start, and then also when you're riding bumpers in the weekends, you usually have no chance to do the Opens and then back to a bumper. Like so, yeah, it's very hard to get one. I'd love to try get one. Yeah, very hard.
Tell Gordon, Jerry Colomb next year, Fox Hunters.
I don't think he'd be impressed if I mentioned that.
Be something like that. Go on then, Rich, mate. You can finish us off with your handicaps for day 4, and then I just want one nap of the week from all of us, and then we are done, guys. We're done.
Yeah, a few have already mentioned. Valgrand in the county I like. Dropped to 134 from 140. What else we got? The Hunter Chase. No strong opinion. I've heard a few previews mention Will It Go Ahead, finished second on debut, and then beat Ramillies, went up to 3 miles at Furlong.
Wasn't he rumoured to be getting bought by JP, but they've kiboshed that. I'm sure that's what we're going.
That was the rumour, yeah. The Martin Pipe. Interestingly, 0 from 12 favourites have won the Martin Pipe, so stay away from that.
Didn't you have the winner last year? But didn't you have the winner last year, Rich?
No,
was it the Martin Pipe? No, it was the Albert Bartlett.
Last year in the
Martin Whispers was the get.
Watford Whispers.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was waiting on that thing for a fortune. How the hell that got beat?
I think we were all on it, weren't we? I think
everyone was on it. Yeah. Bad day. Go on, Rich.
Yeah, it's already mentioned. I like Wadu for this. I mean, if you just look at her form, you've got Joyeuse finished second, won by 8 lengths next time out. Take No Chances finished third, beat Cargeese in the Grade 2, and then fourth Royal Margot was listed winner by 4 lengths. I mean, it's there in black and white. She'll get the mare allowance. So yeah, that's it. Done. Good
man. What a show. Right, guys. Well, to finish, we've just ticked over 3 hours, so it's been an absolute mammoth effort from everybody. What I'm going to ask you now is I'm going to have one nap each of the week, and then we're done. I'm going to come to you first, Rich. One nap of the week where you think, right, back this horse now and it will not lose.
Can we have a nap? Can we have like a nap win and a best each way bet?
Yeah. Go on then, a nap and an each way bet. We'll do that. We'll do that then. Go on, Rich.
Oh, God, now you...
Right, Joe, do you want to do a nap and an each way bet, mate, while Rich thinks of one? We've only just been through it all, you know. Do you not realise?
So, nap, Ballyburn, and each way bet for me is... I've got 2 down, so I'm just going to give you them anyway. Be Aware and Beyond Your Dreams.
Rich?
Keep going.
George, a nap and each way. Go for it.
A couple of days ago, it would have been Ballyburn, but at the prices now, I would go Angels. Sorry, I've got Angels Dawn. So we got a horse called Angels Dream, so it gets confusing. Angels Dawn and the Fox Hunters would be my nap. I think 7-2. I'd nearly take 7-2 on. I don't see how it gets beaten. And the each way one would be Late Night Pass in the cross country. I can't see how it's out the first 3, and I think you get 14s.
Love that. Come on then, Harry. I know it's past bedtime now, but what's your nap and each way of the festival, mate, for the full week? Harry. And then we'll let you go. You can switch that light off, get curled up, and go to sleep, mate.
I think I'll have to go Brighter Days Ahead champion.
He's done it. He's gone for it.
And then I'll go Ballybo, Albert Bartlett each way.
Good man. Rich, have you thought of one?
Yeah, I'm going to chance Jericho de Reprenay in the Pertemps. I think off 135, I think he could be a lot better than that.
He
Um,
did his
Oh, do you know, just one little.
10 people there.
All this talk about grade ones, and his nap of the festivals and handicap. Joe, could you believe it? The turncoat.
I mean, I can obviously pick John Bon, who's odds on, or Kopek de Boards, who's odds on, or who else we got? Constitution Hill, who's odds on.
No, just go for your favourite races, which is the handicaps. Anyway, what's your each way?
Oh, I'm just picking a few outsiders. One I forgot to mention, the cross country. I'd maybe chance each way the Gopher or the Goffer. Obviously, it's changed to handicap now. He finished 7th in December over the course. He's finished 4th and 5th in Ultima. He was backed into 92 favourite, I think, last year for the Ultima off 147. He's down £10. Gordon likes the cross country, and yeah, who knows?
Well, wasn't he backed into favourite for the Ultima last year off the strength of winning a charity race?
I think he was back. Well, he was back well back last year. Yeah.
I think he was. Wasn't it one of the lasses from Gordon's rode him in a charity race, and they backed him into favourite off the strength of that? I'm pretty sure.
Something daft like that. My nap's going to be Ballyburn. I love Ballyburn. I think he wins. I think he's if you've got William Hill and can get that 2-1 boosted, I think pile in. My each way will be. I was going to say Ballyburn that Harry just said, but I'll go with Be Aware in the Coral. I think he wins that, and that'll do us, guys. We've done. All I'll say is, guys, it's obviously a long evening. It's the big thing. It's the biggest week of the year. I do appreciate everyone's time. We've got 661 people viewing there, so it's obviously ramped up. Appreciate everyone who's listened, everyone who's spoken tonight. Rich, Joe, Harry, obviously, thank you for coming on and giving us your time. I know it's been a bit of a slog in the end, but hope you've enjoyed yourself, mate. Have you? You ready for bed?
Yeah, ready to hit the hay. Yeah.
What time you got to be up in the morning, Harry?
I have to go to college tomorrow because I have my thesis exam, or my thesis is coming up just at the wrong time, so I have to finish it tomorrow by 7 p.m. Before Cheltenham, because I won't get any of it done during Cheltenham. So
what age are you?
22.
Jesus.
So you haven't got an early start tomorrow. I might not feel as bad then.
I probably will have to get up early just to start the thing because it'll take me so long to do. So
he's up at 4 a.m. to ride out. Then he's got to go to college, and we've kept him till 11 o'clock.
I feel so bad now. I'm so sorry, Harry, mate. I won't keep you any longer, mate. Honestly, but we've enjoyed yourself. Cheers for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
I put out first lot at 6. None of you fuckers are sorry to me.
Oh, you're all right, John. Not bad about you, John. No, but honestly, thank you everyone for coming on. Thanks to everyone for watching. We're going to let you all go now. Good luck at the Cheltenham Festival. I've got another free bet that I'm going to, and some free tickets. I'll give them away on Twitter and stuff, so I haven't forgot about them. So yeah, watch out for that. Like and subscribe to the channel. Anything else? Anyone want to say anything else before we go?
Yeah. Can I just give one last plug to the cheat sheet? No, I'm joking. My full views on every race at the Cheltenham Festival, full rationale, full when to back them, how to back them, etc. It's I think a 22-page document now, just updated today. £5 for every single race at the festival, 2 sections in every race. Just DM me on Twitter. It's at George F. Gorman.
By the cheat sheet. Harry, good luck with your thesis, mate. Good luck with everyone back in next week. And we'll see you later. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks,
Cheers, lads.